Tiger Stadium in Boutte, Louisiana, Crescent City Sports is once again proud to bring you high school football. Tonight we've got an intriguing non-district matchup that covers geography, it covers classifications, it covers select versus non-select. We're all over the map this evening with a great storyline to go with it as the De La Salle Cavaliers take on the Hahnville Tigers. Hi again, everybody. Lenny Van Gilder along with Wade Kaiser, Chip Merritt, our producer, once again this evening. Wade, these two teams are not two teams that maybe you would expect to get together. One of the things that's come about from the COVID scheduling cycle, we delayed reclassification by a year, and you ended up with a third year of a scheduling cycle. So you ended up with some different matchups here, and these two teams ended up getting together. Like, you've got a 3A school and a 5A school. You got a select school and a non-select school. You got a school from the city and a school from the river parishes. So you really got, if you're talking about cross-sectional, this is as cross-sectional as it gets.
Well, you're looking for competition. And speaking with Graham Jarrett this week, one of the things about De La Salle, it hasn't been easy to schedule the past couple of years, right?
Well, when you get good, and again, they've been in the championship game 3 times in the last 4 years.
Look,
that's a challenge.
Been there. People don't answer their phones, right? They don't call you back, or they call you back and they say no, and then they hang up, or So what you have to do is you've got to find people that want to play, and then of course then you run into the COVID thing, you run into the hurricane thing this year, and you just want football games. And talking with Graham Jarrett, he said he was searching high and low to pick up games because he lost games at the beginning of the season. He had his COVID issues, just like everybody else did. And then there was Hahnville, coming off there. St. Charles Parish got hit hard by the hurricane.
And again, one thing we'll talk about this evening.
Correct.
They have not started school yet. The faculty just reported back today.
Right.
And you're thinking, okay, well, let them go to school remotely. Well, guess what? Half of St. Charles Parish still doesn't have internet connectivity.
Correct.
So it's not that easy. They're going to start classes on Monday on a day-on, day-off basis because Destrehan has been hit so hard, and Destrehan's students are going to be coming to school here.
Correct. So when you try to just match up games so you can get a chance to play, you pick up whomever you can, and it's going to be an intriguing matchup tonight. And then here's the thing, too. Talking with Graham Jarrett going in this week, going into this game tonight, he spoke to me in concern about the rest of his scheduling for the second half of the year. Not to say anything about his district opponents, but they're not at the speed and caliber that some of the programs he's played in his preseason.
No doubt. And Ken Trahan and I were talking about this. The analogy that I made was some of the challenges that J.T. Curtis faced when he was playing in a 2A district.
Right. So he's
going to face, and again, they've not started district play yet. Hahnville, this is their district bye. They started way back in week 4. It turned out to be their opener against Destrehan.
Correct.
So, but De La Salle, they're only in a 4-team district, so their district schedule comes in the last 3 weeks of the season. You got to play 7, or as it's been the last 2 years, first because of COVID and now because of Ida, you only end up with 5 non-district games, and give both of these schools credit for being willing to test themselves. It would be real easy for Hahnville to say, okay, let's take our bye in the non-district schedule, and we're going to give ourselves a break right here, and buy somebody, come to Hahnville, let's get ourselves a win and move on. But they're playing a very good De La Salle team that's lost just once this year to another very good team in St. Charles Catholic. Got a chance to see the end of that game, a 3-0 defensive slugfest. Right. And since then they've rattled off 3 in a row. They've gone on the road to Lake Charles College Prep and won. They've gone on the road to Scotlandville and won. So that's some pretty salty competition there. And then they came home last week and they faced Landry at Tad Gormley and won that game. So not afraid to play up in class. Right. Not afraid to play very good competition within their class.
And to that effect, Coach Luquette is not afraid to play anybody in any class. He's looking for games. He's looking for competition. He knows how important it is to get his kids ready for his district, and then, of course, into the playoffs too. So 2 coaches that are looking out for their programs, looking for competition. That's why they're meeting tonight.
Right, and you've also got two coaches that, as we were talking about pregame, kind of an interesting scenario as Hahnville has taken the field here, and you see the fireworks here at Tiger Stadium, greeting them as they take the field. But you had Daniel Luquette replacing Nick Salter-Formaggio when he left 2 years ago to take the Holy Cross job. You had Graham Jarrett replacing Ryan Manali, who left earlier this year to take the Jesuit job. So we saw those two guys face off 2 weeks ago at Tad Gormley Stadium. Had these coaching changes not taking place, we'd be seeing them here tonight. But it's you know
what, I never even thought about that.
Yeah,
you brought that up.
But it's the small world of high school sports that we all live in, and all of these things come together.
Well, it's also a coaching carousel. Coaches move, coaches change jobs.
No doubt.
And then interesting things happen when you're in the same vicinity. So, you're right. Two years ago, it could have been.
It would have been that matchup if this game had taken place. Now, the other storyline that we alluded to, and we'll talk about this throughout the night, we'll talk about it at halftime. I've not seen this on the high school level. I can recall seeing something like this in professional sports, maybe even on occasion in college sports. But we're going to see twin brothers going against each other that's on the field tonight. And they're going to be on opposite sides of the football and going to be on the field at the same time. And it's De La Salle quarterback Cole Milford and his twin brother, Hahnville linebacker Jude Milford. I got a chance to visit with the two parents before the game, and that was an interesting conversation. As you see, you see the family there, and they had specially made shirts for tonight. They've got both school logos, they've got both numbers, and they've got Milford across the front, and no team colors. It's a white shirt with black Milford across the front. We'll get more into that. We're getting ready for our national anthem as the colors are making their way to the center of the field here at Tiger Stadium.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome FCS member Jack Quell, along with the leader to the moment of prayer and reflection prior to tonight's game.
Join me in bowing your heads. Dear Lord, we want to thank you for allowing us to gather in the city of safety. We thank you for bringing this community back together during these tough times when a lot of our students, families, and teachers are prospering. I pray that both teams here tonight play their heart out, put their best foot forward, and allow this game to be enjoyed for everyone. I pray for safe travel home for everyone leaving this stadium tonight. Amen. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you remain standing until you please remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. The national anthem will be performed by the Hahnville High School Fighting Tigers marching band.
Our national anthem from Booty as we get set for kickoff between De La Salle and Hahnville. So to finish the story, I did have a chance to visit pregame with Brad and Rebecca Milford. That's Cole and Jude's parents. We'll hear a little bit of that coming up at halftime. And Wade, you've got kids, okay? You've coached siblings before.
Correct.
Imagine being parents. And you've got
right.
one on each side. That has got to be, and twins no less.
I experienced it when I was coaching. One of my sons was at a rival school twice. That occasion during my tenure when I was at Jesuit and when I was at Brother Martin. So yes, it's fun though. It brings spice to the dinner table. It adds a little bit more of a. I guess you would say bravado in the house of bragging rights. So it's going to be extremely fun tonight to watch these two compete against each other, and I'm really interested to see some of the comments that the Milfords have.
Well, we're about to see the first meeting right here. They're both captains out at the center of the field, so an embrace between Cole and Jude. You'll hear there was a little bit of trash talking going on in the house Wednesday night. They were separate for most of the week, but there was a little bit. They all got together. Wednesday was Rebecca's birthday, so they all got together then, and there was a little bit of trash talking going on in the Milford house Wednesday night. But that was basically it. And look, there should be. No doubt.
There should be. Absolutely. The only thing I had to do, and I'm sure those two had to do, is I had to make sure I didn't leave any vital information laying around.
Exactly. Well, they weren't even in the same house for most of the week. So that made a difference as well. So Hahnville wins the toss. They're going to defer. So De La Salle's going to get the football to start the game, and we're going to immediately get a look at Milford versus Milford.
And how fun is that? I mean, that's what high school football is all about, and that's what family life is all about. And hats off to the parents who, obviously, are raising two fine young men and making sure that it is all in good jest.
Well, let's hope so. They know this. When the night is over, Milfords are going 1-1. That's
right.
We know that.
Yeah, somebody's winning.
Yeah, somebody's winning, but somebody's losing, and but you're still going to be family when it's all said and done. So we get set for football here a little bit later than expected. We had a lightning delay that cleared the field, about 6:10, 6:15 this evening. That was it. We just had that 1 30-minute delay. They got back out warmed up. A delayed kickoff here. Almost 15 minutes or so as we get set now. The two teams are taking the field, and we will see for Hahnville, Tate White to kick things off. And for De La Salle, see Jace Bienemy on the far hash, and that looks like Kentrell Millette on the near hash, back at about the 9-yard line. Toe meets leather, and off we go from Booty. This will be Millette from the 8. Coming out past the 30, may give him the 31-yard line, and that's where De La Salle will begin things on offense. With Cole Milford, the 6-foot, 168-pound senior. He has been a starter since his sophomore year, Wade.
And he's got a lot of field general experience. He brings a lot of different things to the game. He can run the football. He can pass the football. He loves the RPO game that gives him the option to, especially on the zone read options, things like that gives him the option to be able to make a decision to help his offense.
Looks like Deontay LaBranch is opening up next to him in the backfield. This is a lateral on first down. LaBranch trying to get to the edge. The pursuit is going to get there, and LaBranch is going to lose yardage on first down.
Hahnville opens up with one high safety playing man all over the field in their 4-3 front, 4 down lineman front. Immediately, De La Salle tries to check to see who has the back in man. It should have been one of the linebackers, and it was, and it's part of the little quick screen they threw to the halfback, LaBranch, right there, to see if who was covering the back.
Call it officially a loss of 3 on the play. Now it's Miles Sider in the backfield, and De La Salle is probably going to churn through some running backs this evening. P.J. Martin, who was the starter and a very productive back, is Sider goes right up the gut for maybe 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd and long. Martin is out with an ankle injury, and we'll have to wait and see how long that is going to be, that he's going to be out. But that's a big loss for this De La Salle offense. Call it officially a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 9 from the 32, opening series of the game.
You'll also see for De La Salle some kids playing 2 ways, like LaBranch.
Like LaBranch, who's back in there right now, running back, trying to set up a screen. That is incomplete. And I think it was thrown in the direction of Jace Bienemy.
Yeah, they're trying to run the tunnel screen right there. You can see Bienemy coming back right there underneath his blockers to catch the ball, and just the ball sails over his head. Wasn't really executed very well. Milford also could have possibly thrown that away without being in his mind right there what he was thinking.
Right.
He saw a lot of purple jerseys, and maybe he just threw that to an open spot and not to make a bad decision.
So 3 and out for the Cavaliers on the first possession. Kentrell Millette, the junior, who we'll see at wide receiver, also is the punter and has been the punter for this team. Nice kick. And a friendly Cavalier roll. Now it's going to check up like one of Wade's 9-irons at about the 23-yard line.
Yeah, it's more like my gap wedge right there. We're going to see a real good defense tonight from De La Salle, especially in the front 7. Eddie Jaguar, the longtime defensive coordinator in the city in the Catholic League, who's been at De La Salle the past few years, who does a great job. Was talking to me earlier tonight about his defense, and you're going to see them start out in their 4-man front and their 2 high secondary with a lot of cover 4, cover 2 looks, and you'll see some other different things out of him too with his blitz packages, and to try to apply some pressure on a Hahnville team that is going to spread you out and try to get their athletes out in space.
You see 4 wides out there with Donovan Freelou, the junior, 5'11", 180 pounds behind center. They'll operate from the pistol. Give it away on first down. Good pressure that time from the De La Salle defense, but still getting a couple on the play.
That De La Salle front is also has been tested over the years. Those guys have, been involved in a lot of big games in the past, and they know how to, stop the run game and make sure that they're in the right positions to be able to combat the RPOs you're going to see from Hahnville tonight too.
That was Kajan Smith on the first carry. Now a little swing pass out to this side, complete. That is Ramel Hardy, the junior wide receiver, to about the 28-yard line, a gain of 4.
Quick screen, covered well by De La Salle. Out there, it looked like that was number 4, Kenneth Vaughn, coming up from his safety position with 3 tackles and a block punt on the year. Seeing Hahnville trying to get their guys out in space right there. You'll see a lot of those type of wide receiver screens. They go empty now, and it's going to be interesting to see the adjustment that De La Salle makes to the empty formation.
Yeah, five wides. Coming to the near side and behind his intended target. That was Shai Collins, listed as a DB on the roster, but in a wide receiver on that play. And so both teams go 3 and out on their opening possession here.
A lot of cushion given by De La Salle right there. That should have been an easy throw for Freelou. Freelou just off his mark right there, which is going to bring up 4th down for the Tigers.
Yeah, Freelou coming off a big game last week against Thibodeau in a win. Tigers' first of the year. As White will punt it away. And LaBranch will let it roll, now pick it up at about the 26, run forward, pick up an extra yard or so, and that's where De La Salle will begin at the 27-yard line with 8:52 to play here in the first quarter. Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. The Lamarck Collision Center makes the repair process easy. And with our state-of-the-art equipment and certified technicians, it will be done right. We repair all makes and models. That's at the Lamarck Collision Center. Our thanks to Ronnie Lamarck for his continuing support of high school sports here on Crescent City Sports. So a couple of 3 and outs to get this one going. De La Salle takes over for its second possession. Ball at the 27-yard line, a little over 3 minutes in. On first down, trying to get the edge. That was Jeremiah Wills, the sophomore running back, who will get it out to about the 35-yard line, a gain of 8.
You're going to see a lot of running backs, like you said, tonight for the Cavaliers. So, folks at home, just kind of make sure you're looking and seeing what happens. And they're going to see different tempos. Like they're going fast now. Their NASCAR tempo, they're going to check it back down and look back over and get the call from up top down to the field. And then they'll signal what they want in to Cole Milford.
Do you think Jude knows all of Cole's audibles out there? Do you think he knows what he's up to? Milford's going to keep this one. That looked like a busted play, and he is dragged down from behind by Darnell Brown, the senior linebacker. It looks like he might have gotten it back to the line of scrimmage. Looked like Milford wanted to hand it off there, but
he wanted to give
Sider,
the ball right.
Yeah, Sider was in a different spot, and he had no one to hand it to, so they basically ran where Sider was supposed to go.
And you could tell that was a broken play because when it was all over, Cole Milford walked over to Sider and had a couple of words for him. That's the sign of a good leader. Make sure you're in the right place. That was not the correct alignment or the right play.
3rd and 2, ball at the 35-yard line. De La Salle's going to overload the bottom of the formation as you look at it, try to run this way, and falling forward, looks like for a first down is Miles Sider. I think just had numbers there, Wade.
Got a lot of numbers. They ran it into the boundary. You got a lot of white jersey numbers over there. Didn't have a lot of purple jersey numbers over there, so they picked the side of the field on the pre-snap to run it to the lesser numbers of the defensive unit, and it resulted in a first down. Everybody says at home, well, why are they running into the short side of the field? What's the deal? You're crammed in against the boundary, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No, it's about the numbers. That's why we play with 11.
So now you see stacked wide receivers to both sides, and Chris Baxter's a tight end fullback in the backfield. Come this way with it and throw it out to Jace Bienemy, the 5'8", 153-pound sophomore. Gain of about 2 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 8.
Jarek Lucas came up from his safety position for a nice hit. A senior defensive back, 7 tackles, 1 interception on the year. It was a little wide receiver screen. You got the block on the first man. Nobody blocked Lucas. He comes up and stops the play for only a 2-yard gain.
So 2nd down and 8. The ball at the 40.
Good for the blitz.
Pass is incomplete, and Kentrell Millette had all kinds of green in front of him, and that pass from Milford was just behind him. He got a little pressure from Sincere Simmons, a junior who was a unanimous all-district selection a year ago already with 13 tackles, 6 for loss this year.
Hahnville brought the house. They brought both linebackers, which left nothing covering Millette. Our Millette right there. Millette's running where the linebackers just vacated, and had that ball been on target, like you said, he could still be running.
3rd and 8. Line to make is the 48-yard line. Milford. Pressure coming up the gut. Runs away from it. Still on his feet, but he's going to run out of real estate and is going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of about 2. And I believe Jude was one of the ones that was in on the stop of Cole right there, Wade.
Sincere Simmons comes untouched on the tackle defensive end X. The loop around by Sincere Simmons from a defensive end position. Nobody picks it up. The defensive line didn't work off on the stunt, and he came barreling through right up in the middle into Cole Milford's face. Milford had to vacate out of there, and like you said, he was tackled by his brother Jude over on the boundary. Sincere Simmons quick. First move around the defensive tackle. Applied the pressure. He comes in with 13 tackles, 10 of them solo. He's quite the athlete.
He said 6 tackles for loss, a couple of sacks. It's, right. There's clearly some ability there and somebody who might have a chance to take his game to the next level. There's a lot of college prospects on both sides of the field here this evening.
Well, as I've noticed, there were a few college prospects dotting the sidelines tonight. Also watching those prospects, so they're able to get out now in the month of October, according to NCAA rules.
Yeah, we saw the Texas coach Steve Sarkisian at the Newman St. Charles Catholic game last night. Another booming punt by Millette. This is over the return man's head, and it will keep rolling, and it will go down at the 4-yard line. That's a 60-yard punt.
Wow!
By Kentrell Millette.
Wow, that looks shades of the guy from the Saints this
Gilligan.
past week. Gilligan.
Yes.
I couldn't think of his name. Gilligan. Wow, that was a great punt, and it just nosed up
That
right
just
inside
flipped. That
the
just
5-yard
flipped the
line.
field right there.
Correct. And what a weapon. What a weapon. Look at the replay. I don't know if we can get it back up. That punt was beautiful. It was high spiraling, sailed over the head of the returner, and like you said, it checked up like a gap wedge down inside the 5-yard line.
Whistles before this play can get underway. Timeout, Hahnville. This is a spot where you want to make sure you don't have your signals crossed at the 4-yard line because it could turn into a safety or a touchdown if you're not careful right here.
Well, that, and you want to make sure you got your right personnel on the field and all of that good stuff. So, they're going to take the timeout down here at the 6-minute mark. There's no more heat and humidity break.
Right, those went away last week.
Right, and
although we could use it tonight,
yes,
we're awaiting the arrival of fall. When we wake up tomorrow morning, hopefully we're going to have it. But it's, it was a 90-degree day today.
In South Louisiana, we talk about the waiting of fall like a child waiting for Christmas. I mean, all week long, that's all you heard on the news, on every news station.
Well, you've known it's coming. You've known it's coming for like 6 or 7 days now.
Right.
How many people are cooking gumbo tomorrow? That's what I want.
Exactly. It drops below 80.
Yeah.
Everybody's cooking gumbo.
Yep.
People walking around in the furry boots.
Yeah, I may have to.
The Uggs. Is that what you call those?
Still got one more gumbo in the freezer. We have to text the wife to break that out for the weekend.
There you go.
All right, so here we go from the 4. A couple of receivers to the bottom of your screen, 2 to the top. One man will come in motion. And quarterback is going to keep it, but it's well defended by the Cavalier defense. Looks like no gain on the play. Or maybe about a foot. That would be about it.
Nice job over there by Ramon Cole from De La Salle. Does a nice job not getting up the field on the kick-out block. He plays it perfectly, and nowhere for Donovan Freelou to go right there off of the zone read look. Yeah. He was reading the last guy on the line of scrimmage.
Right. Freelou with 38 yards rushing on the year. Now, of course, in high school and college, sack yardage counts as rushing yards, so that can be deceiving. He's got 4 touchdowns on the ground, though. All 4 touchdowns that Hahnville has scored on the ground have been by the legs of Freelou. That went nowhere either. And that's back very close to the end zone. They're going to mark it at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, his point of forward progress has stopped just about the 1-yard line. But watching those guys on defense from De La Salle in white jerseys, they're flying to the ball. Hahnville runs a gap play, down, kick out, pull the backside guard, backside tackle for the kick out, and it's blown up at the point of attack by De La Salle.
You got some big guys up front. None bigger than Frankie Bentley, 6'5", 320-pound sophomore who's going to get some looks. That is caught. Will get out of the shadow of the goalpost, but still be short of the first down.
Trying to throw a screen to get a little room to get some sort of cushion to punt the ball or possibly pop it and get the first down, and nowhere to go. Great defensive stand by De La Salle, but it all started with that punt. I tell you what,
that can change everything. As we saw last Sunday with the Saints, you made the point with Gilligan. I mean, that was, his punting game led probably to 14 points. So now you get a 3 and out. You get the ball back. Here comes De La Salle after the punt. They're going to get terrific field position here. Let's see where it gets down. They'll down it at the 41-yard line. So for the first time tonight, we've got somebody starting a drive or actually starting at any point in the possession on the other side of the 50-yard line.
How big is the kicking game? I mean, it's having had the opportunity to, do a lot with the kicking game in my coaching career from the standpoint of coordinating it and everything else. It's so vital and it's so intricate that a lot of people at home just don't really appreciate it.
Well, Sean Payton, I know, always talks about hidden yards.
Correct.
And that's one of the places that you get them. De La Salle starts at the 41. This will be Sider on the carry. We'll get it out past the 40. Let's see exactly where they spot it. Looks like the 39, a gain of 2.
De La Salle's version of their own gap play. blocking down at the point of attack, down, and you're going to see the kick-out block and the seal block. You can see the little sniffer fullback right there getting the kick out, and the backside fullback coming through and sealing up right there. Look, one of the best offensive line coaches in the city is Graham Jarrett, right? The new head coach at De La Salle. I had a great opportunity to have him on 2 of my staffs, and, you know, he does such a great job with scheming the run game up.
That looked, we talked about it earlier, we saw a lateral on an overhand. That was a forward pass right there, as that little pitch play to Jeremiah Wills will get about 4 to the 35. That definitely went forward. If that ball hit the ground, I don't know how they would have called it, but it should have been an incomplete pass.
Well, the purpose of it was trying to get the ball outside real quick. It amounts to a quick toss or a toss, turn it around from a quarterback under a center to a tailback, and it just so happened to be forward. So I'm sure in the pregame conversation, Graham Jarrett talked to the officials about if that ball's forward and it's on the ground, it is an incomplete pass.
Now that's a little option lateral right there, and a well-designed play, and the best offensive play of the night for De La Salle as Jeremiah Wills gets it out to around the 20-yard line, a gain of 15 yards. And the Cavaliers find themselves in the red zone at the 20-yard line.
This sophomore has a little burst. Wills, watch right there, little lead option. Get it out there fast on the edge. Great blocking by the wide receivers out there. They had man coverage. They really didn't have to break down and stalk. All they had to do was just run them off. And possibly Wills could still be running.
At the 20. Give on first down, and not much running room right there, as that was LeBranch again in the backfield. And that's one of the things that Graham Jarrett's got to do here, is figure out how to manage plays in the backfield and manage carries without P.J. Martin right now.
Well, yes, and it's tough. We've seen P.J. Martin the past couple of years. And
we first got to see him 2 years ago.
Correct.
They had an injury in the opening game against Warren Easton, and all of a sudden we see this freshman come in there and showed something very quickly. Of course, he had to replace Montrell Johnson, who's now tearing things up in Cajun country. Quarterback will keep it this time. Milford out past the 10, out to the 5-yard line, and it's going to be 1st and goal.
There's your zone read. He was reading the play side linebacker right there off of the jet sweep motion. And if we can see it on the replay, if you look at the linebackers, if they chase the motion, then that means Milford's going to pull that football and replace. And that's exactly what he did. He gets it up the field, and he's a north and south runner when he gets going, and he almost scored there.
So 1st and goal for the Cavaliers. Ball at the 5-yard line as we tick under the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. I think he fooled his brother on that play.
I think his brother went with the jet motion.
Full house backfield.
Nowhere.
And that was Kedrick Richardson. This obviously a goal line look. We didn't get a chance to talk about him on defense. He is a highly regarded sophomore linebacker. 5'11", 228 pounds. Gets in there at tailback in that jumbo look. As a sophomore, Wade, he's already got an offer from LSU.
Great job on that linebacker right there at tailback by that Hahnville defense, just stacking that thing up. Getting a lot of bodies to the ball real quick, and brings up a second goal from the 5.
Yeah, now they'll go a little more conventional here in 2nd and goal. Might have lost about a foot on the play. Officially no gain. And that's the pitch outside to Sider, and he is in for the touchdown. Miles Sider, the 5-yard touchdown run off the pitch from Cole Milford, and De La Salle strikes first.
Great job on the little lead option. We saw that play earlier for the big gain. Here it is right here. He's going to read that in. There's the read. Milford pitches off the end, and touchdown Cavaliers. What was really nice was the blocking out on the edge out there by the De La Salle wide receiver. Did a great job stalk blocking the corner, and there was nobody there to tackle the running back as he just walked into the end zone.
Gabe Capasso on to try the extra point. The left-footed kicker knocks it through, and with 54 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, your score, De La Salle 7, Hahnville nothing. De La Salle goes 41 yards in 7 plays. It took 3 minutes and 8 seconds off the clock, and The key play of that drive wasn't in that drive. It was the punt by Millette that pinned him inside the 5-yard line.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
You then got the 3 and out,
right.
And that sets you up in great field position.
Correct. So if everybody at home that's watching this broadcast, how important is the kicking game? That's the reason why you work it. That's the reason why you every day spend time on it. That's the reason why you work on it as a coaching staff. It sets up scores. It's the hidden yardage, as Sean Payton says, that gives you the edge and gives you points.
You find 100 yards out there, and you get 7 points. Is the way he views it.
No doubt. No doubt.
And you keep in mind there, that punt happened from the 36. By the time they got it back, the ball was at the Hahnville 41. So that's 23 yards they gained in the exchange. Hahnville was late getting a man on there. Squib kick. And trying to find some room coming back this way, out past the 40, out near the 45-yard line. I believe that was Ja'Shawn Joseph, the senior DB.
Well, De La Salle obviously didn't want to kick it deep to the speed that Hahnville had back there, so they squib it on the ground. It passes the first and the second line, and it's picked up by Joseph right there, who sets up Hahnville with, I believe,
their best field position. They started
tonight,
at the 23 and at the 4. This is going to start at the 44-yard line.
Correct.
So 3 and out on the first 2 possessions. Now, with a little more room to operate, let's see what happens with Donovan Freelou in the offense here. A little misdirection handoff coming back this way. Room to run, and out near the sticks, that is Kajon Smith. But there's a flag down back at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that can only indicate one thing.
That could be, I don't know how quickly it came down. Could be an illegal formation, could be motion. Let's see what this is all about. It is a hold.
That's what I was fixing to say.
So now, after that promising play, now all of a sudden you're backed up behind the sticks. First down and 20 with the ball at the 34-yard line. Check out the all-new Crescent City Sports Makers podcast presented by Southland Plumbing Supply. This week's episode features Pro Football Hall of Famer and former Saints kicker Morton Anderson. And you catch a new episode every Thursday. Get it at CrescentCitySports.com, or better yet, subscribe to the Crescent City Sports Makers podcast through your favorite podcast provider. Big play by the De La Salle defense as a sack of the quarterback, and now it's going to be second down and very long, and that was Timothy Maxson, the sophomore defensive lineman, 6'1", 266 pounds, who dragged down the Hahnville quarterback, Donovan Freelou, back at the 27-yard line.
Maxson does a nice job getting up the field and just beating the guard from Hahnville and putting a move on the guard and getting to Freelou at his point of where he was trying to set up. Maxson's only a sophomore, really a promising defensive lineman with great speed.
Well, that will wrap up the first quarter of play. 12 minutes in the books here in Booty with your score, De La Salle 7, Hahnville nothing. Stay with us. You are watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. So here we go with quarter number 2. We switch ends. Hahnville will now move from right to left. Second down and 27. And that's not going to get 27 yards right there. The pass was complete. That was Troy Kendrick, who's the leading receiver on this team, his 14th catch of the year. The senior who's got some offers, Wade. Colorado State, Nichols, and Southern have already offered Kendrick.
Well, I can see why. He's got some, juice out there in space. They're trying to RPO it right there. They had the numbers. Hahnville had the numbers. They get it out to Kendrick and trying to get something happen. Nice job by De La Salle coming up and making that play.
Yeah, total yards in the first quarter. De La Salle 51, Hahnville 6. That pass is intercepted. And you saw the ball skills right there of Kedrick Richardson, who was in on offense on the goal line, and a nice play right there for him to go up and make that catch in space and return it out past the 30-yard line. And De La Salle is going to start with great field position right here, Wade.
Hahnville was trying to run a little rail stop on the boundary underneath the corner in their zone, and Kendrick does a nice job. Kendrick Richardson does a nice job jumping up vertically and catching that football. Look, he's only a sophomore. De La Salle's starting a bunch of sophomores on defense. I mean, this looks promising.
And this goes back really to when Ryan Manali was building up this program, Wade. He was not afraid to put freshmen on the field. How many times did we see juniors and seniors that were 3- and 4-year starters and continue to see that? Milford trying to run the tunnel screen right there, and that was knocked away, and that was Sincere Simmons. We've talked about him a couple of times tonight. Got his paws up on that one.
Well, I'm impressed by this guy. He's got a great first step. Watch him get off the ball right here on the tunnel screen. He's aware of it. He sees it. He gets vertical up in the air. He's taught very well by the coaching staff that if that ball's up, you get up. All right, meaning up in the hands of the quarterback fixing to get rid of it. If you can't get to the quarterback, you get up and try to knock it down. And he got his big paws up and knocked that thing down.
This time the give to Jeremiah Wills out to about the 27-yard line, giving 2, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
Jude Milford on that play. Nice job shaking that thing down, working underneath the blocks right there, coming up and make the play. Great hit. He laid the wood on the running back from De La Salle right there.
Well, again, you talk about it. Wills, sophomore. A couple of the Bieniemy, we've called his name tonight, sophomore. Richardson, sophomore. The cupboard is definitely not going bare for De La Salle.
Hahnville brought the house.
And they run down Cole Milford. That is Devin Douglas, the senior, who came in with 6 tackles on the season. I believe that was 90. Yeah, 90. Chris Scott was back there as well, but a loss of 12 on the play back to the 39. And now De La Salle, after what looked to be a promising start there with field position inside the 30-yard line, now will be forced to punt the football.
All right, Devin Douglas right there came untouched. Hahnville shows blitz, backs out, then brings the blitz. They brought the house, both linebackers with man coverage behind it. De La Salle does not have an answer for the blitz. This is the second time we've seen this happen.
So on 4th and 20, Millette trying to pooch it, and not a very good kick right there.
That looks like my 9-0.
Yeah, that. Hahnville is going to start at the 43-yard line. The punt goes -4 yards.
That'll kill your average.
After 60 before, now you go -4. It averages out to 28.
Look, Alan DeRitter is the kicking coach over at De La Salle.
And a great contributor to Crescent City sports, I might add. And good soccer coach.
Correct. One of the best soccer coaches in the city of New Orleans, right? So Alan DeRitter spends a ton of time with these guys, not only working on their technique, but also working with the kicking psyche, which is really something you've got to work with.
No question. Little RPO on 1st down right there, and on the slant, caught for the first down of the night for Hahnville. That was on the reception, Josh Smith Jr., his 6th catch of the year, and will put the Tigers out to the De La Salle 40-yard line, a gain of 17.
Really executed well by Freelou, the RPO. Reading the play side strong safety or outside linebacker from De La Salle on the RPO. If he comes in with the run fake, they're going to throw the slant behind it. Everybody's doing this play. You see it at all levels, and it was executed to perfection by Hahnville.
Now Freelou will look to run it on first down. It is well defended right there by the Cavaliers. Lance Joseph, the junior defensive lineman, first in there to bring him down for no gain.
Lance Joseph, 6'2", 219-pound junior, another young defensive lineman right there. Squeezes the down block right there, blows it up into the backfield. Very well taken care of by the De La Salle defensive line.
You could see the size they've got up front right there. You see Ramon Cole in there at 5'10", 307. Frankie Bentley at 6'5", 320. And they rotate in guys at 284 and 266 as that pass is incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Trying to throw the quick screen out there to the second receiver in the trips formation at the top of your screen, and it was just a little bit off target. They get the nice blocks. They have the room out there. They just got to complete the screen pass. I like the play. They had the numbers. Just not a very good throw.
So the line to make is right at the 30-yard line. Again, the RPO. Freelou pump fakes. Now will look to run. This might have been 4-down territory anyway, Wade.
Well, Freelou did a nice job.
He got
not
4
throwing
out
right.
of it, yeah.
He should have gave the ball on the RPO right there. He was expecting the outside linebacker or the strong safety from De La Salle to do the same thing he did 3 or 4 plays ago, to chase the handoff. He didn't. He sat. Ball should have been given on the RPO that time. Freelou realized that when he was ready to throw it, he was going to throw a pick. He pulls it down and just gets up the field.
Just went up the field and got about 3.5. 4th and a long 6 from the 36. Again, the line to make is the 30-yard line, right at the stripe.
Here comes a blitz by De La Salle.
Play action, pass intercepted again by Richardson, and room to run. Although he saw a lot of green space. Did that ball come loose at the end of the play? No, Richardson comes out of there with it. What a great instinctive play that time by Richardson to get the interception, his second in as many possessions, and De La Salle is going to start here at the 42-yard line.
I've seen that before. That's all Eddie Jaguar. Eddie Jaguar does a great job dialing up the blitz right there, disguising zone coverage, and then walking down into man coverage at the last second. The man coverage took away the RPO, and thus the pick by number 11, Robertson, for his second one of the night.
Yeah, Kedrick Richardson. Now I mentioned 5'11", 228-pound sophomore. Played a lot as a freshman, and like mentioned, went to the LSU camp this summer. And LSU doesn't exactly throw around offers to sophomores very often, but they offered Richardson as a sophomore.
Well, and let me talk about that again. Eddie Jaguar, one of the best defensive coordinators in this city, dialed that up. I've seen that stunt and that blitz 1,000 times out of all of his fronts, where he is going to bring the house, apply the pressure, but he's going to give you a zone look pre-snap, and then after the snap, everything's going to be turned into man coverage, and it was executed perfectly by the De La Salle defense and Richardson.
We'll toss sweep out here on 2nd and 10. And getting the first down that time, that is, once again, Deontay LeBranch, who we're seeing a little bit of on offense this evening.
Well, they're bringing Deontay LeBranch over to offense from his defensive position to give a little bit more depth to that backfield after they lost P.J. Martin with an ankle injury, all right, which we mentioned earlier in the show. And P.J. Martin was one of those running backs that we saw 2 years ago as a young guy come in and become an impact player at such a young player.
So across the 50 now at the Hahnville 47-yard line. Give it away on first down towards the boundary. And a gain of about 5 that time for Jeremiah Wills.
Trying to run student body left, getting about 3 blockers out in front right there on a sweep. You can see the big white jerseys getting around on the edge. Nice job by the safety from Hahnville coming up there to make a play right in the alley. He does a great job filling it.
We got an injured Hahnville player on the far sideline.
I think that safety was Sam Semino, if I'm not mistaken, coming up from his safety position in his alley, as a free safety should, making a nice play.
Now, what you're seeing thus far, Wade, is a great balance in the De La Salle running game. We've seen 5 carries from Miles Sider. We've seen 4 from Wills. We've seen 4 runs, or really 3 and a sack by Milford. I guess really 2 and 2 sacks. And we've seen 3 runs out of LeBranch, and they've also lined up Richardson one time in that jumbo look, and he's run it as well. So they're spreading the wealth, and when you don't, and even, look, we've seen De La Salle teams in the past. I understand you got a new coach in Graham Jarrett, but obviously personnel is personnel, and you've seen them try to spread the wealth around a little bit, whether it was because you had a great running quarterback and you'd mix it up between the quarterback and the running back, or you'd alternate a couple of running backs. That is Dayron Price, the junior safety, who's being helped off and can't put weight on that left foot right now, Wade.
Yeah, that's you never want to see that. Hopefully he'll have a speedy recovery. But yeah, it's spreading the wealth, but a lot of that's spreading the wealth because you've lost P.J. Martin. So I think it's a great game plan that they're going, that they're using by, they're bringing LeBranch over and they're getting a lot of, the other guys some carries, especially a young guy in Wills. He was only a sophomore.
Yeah, Sider's a senior.
Right.
Martin just a junior. Wills is when he comes back, and ideally he will be back this year. So 2nd and 5, the ball at the 42 of Hahnville. Give it away, and now that's Sider in there at running back, and he'll get it out to about the 39, a gain of 3.
Running inside zone, trying to get a hat on a hat, body on a body. And they do a very nice job right there getting movement up front on that Hahnville front. These are the really nice down and distances that you like for third down. When you're 3rd and 3, you can do a bunch of things. In 4-down territory, I would add.
Really about 2, and that is well defended right there. And I believe that was Jude Milford coming up to make the play there on Sider.
I like this guy. I bet you they have some great brother fights in that house, all right?
Well, that was one of the things, and you'll hear the conversation at halftime, but just how competitive were these guys? I mean, as brothers. And
they're playing,
any siblings, I guess.
Right, playing Nerf basketball in the room, and the furniture's broken at the end of the game. They're banging everything, walls cracked in,
4-down territory here, 4th and 3 at the 40. Milford, flush. He's got room to run. He's going to throw it, though, and finds a man caught. That's Millette. Out past the 25-yard line. 1st down, De La Salle. Let's see where they spot it officially. They will put it at the 24-yard line, a gain of 16.
Look, when everything broke down right there, Milford did a great job getting out of there, but that was not the intended receiver. Coming out of the backfield on a wheel route was number 24, Jeremiah Wills. He was the intended target. It was picked up well by the safety from Hahnville, and there was no place to go. Milford took a peek at it. Everything broke down, and then, Milford made that thing happen right there by getting out there and keeping his eyes down the field, but he was not the intended target. They were looking for Jeremiah Wills up the boundary on the wheel route after the fake.
And the other thing is this. He could have easily gotten the 1st down with his legs, but had the opportunity to make even the bigger play with his arm and had the confidence to make that throw right there and put it right on the money on the move.
Well, the play was defended well by Hahnville, but that was Cole Milford keeping the game alive.
Pitch, and Wills is brought down here, and we got a flag coming in here late. There was a little extracurriculars away from the ball, and Caden Jones, the offensive tackle, was in the middle of that. He is a big guy. And I saw one place, they've got him listed, I believe on their route, they've got him listed at 6'3", 280. That isn't right. He's more like 6'7", 6'8". He is a big, big guy. He's got an LSU offer, a Tulane offer.
Yeah.
Colorado, UL Lafayette have all offered Jones already.
He's a big guy with some athletic ability, and look, I wouldn't want to be sitting next to him at a dinner table, right? You might lose your hands if you're reaching for a biscuit. This cat, though, is really athletic for a big guy. Well, that's going back against De La Salle, so we're looking at some sort of extracurricular personal foul.
And that's what it was. I think there was a little bit of something going on between Jones and one of the Hahnville defenders, and
they were introduced.
I think look, more times than not, you've seen this, Wade. Yeah. The second action is what gets flagged.
Well, they were introducing themselves to each other, and sometimes the second action is a little bit more verbal or violent.
Yeah. So 2nd down and 28. Tried to get it out there quickly and incomplete. That was intended for Jace Bienemy.
When Hahnville brings pressure, De La Salle can't handle it. They've brought 2 or 3 different pressures tonight at various times, and there's always somebody in purple that is popping free. De La Salle has to come up with an answer for how they're going to handle the pressures, especially on particular down a distance. Hahnville is doing a great job disguising them and choosing the right time and places to bring those pressures.
So they'll stack the receivers to top and bottom. Quarterback's going to try and keep it, trying to get to the edge. And no such luck as Sincere Simmons is waiting for him, no gain.
Is this cat athletic? All right. RPO, he doesn't bite. And you think Cole Milford versus Sincere Simmons in a phone booth, you're betting Vegas that Milford's going to win that, right? Sincere Simmons does a great job reaching his big paws out there and staying with Milford and dragging him down. This is one athletic young man.
So now Millett is going to punt here. Let's see how he's feeling about things right now as we get a whistle before this can get underway. As a flag at the 15-yard line. I believe Hahnville may have hit 12 on the field that time, Wade.
Right, well, going through the punter's mind right now is feast or famine, right? So
yep, there's 12. I can count here. If you look out there, you may not be able to see the. We're looking at our referee right now making the call, but there's 12 men on the field.
Well, I got a C in math, so I'm gonna go with you. All right, but
now somebody's going to run off at this point. Well, maybe not. No, let's see.
No, here we go.
So now it becomes 4th and 23, and again, that's dead ball. That wouldn't be, college pro that plays on, and then
exactly.
So you get it 5 yards closer, which could be a good or a bad thing if you're Millett at this point. Much better pooch kick that time. Fair catch called for at the 12-yard line, and now Hahnville is pinned back inside its 20-yard line once again.
Well,
with 3:49 to play in the quarter.
Well, Millett got things right, did a nice job getting it on his foot and just getting it up in the air for the coverage to get down underneath it. So there you go. Yeah. Again, Hahnville not starting in great field position.
Now, the last 2 drives have. They started at the 44 and they started at the 43. This one will begin at the 13-yard line. And those last 2 drives, by the way, both ended in interceptions by Richardson.
Well, I think they've got to establish some sort of running game here. I think that's important for Hahnville to get going. That's going to help their whole RPO situation.
They've only run 14 plays from scrimmage thus far. High snap on first down. Quarterback keeper slides out to the 20-yard line. Let's see, they will put it down. Actually put it down about the 19 where the slide begins. And that's the right call there, where you give yourself up is – at that point is where the play is blown dead.
Freelou reads the defensive end right there. Defensive end chases down the running back. He disconnects the ball on the zone read, and it's a nice pickup for the Hahnville offense.
That gets Hahnville into the plus side in rushing yards tonight. They'll go back in the other direction and room to run out past the 30, 35, 40. That is Cole Villasenor. First time we've called his name this evening. Out to the 39-yard line, a gain of 20. Nice look on that play, Wade.
He's got a nice burst right there. Counter tray or counter gap play again. Down, kick out. Pull the backside guard, backside tackle. They get a kick. The safety does not get in there to fit from De La Salle. And Villasenor, 23 rushes, 133 yards, does a nice job bursting through the line of scrimmage.
Now on first down, a little short sprint to the near side, intended for Troy Kendrick. One hopped it in there, incomplete.
I'm going to have to slow down when I say Cole Villasenor's name, because I can probably butcher that if I start talking fast and mispronounce that. Look, he's a senior. He comes in with 5.8 yard average tonight. He's got some, some skins on the wall. He's got some speed, and he definitely showed it 2 plays ago.
Yep. Also 4 catches on the year. He's not afraid to throw it to the backside of the backfield. 2 to either side. Quarterback, little RPO action, throws incomplete. Intended for Josh Smith Jr. It'll be 3rd and 10.
He should have just ran that football. He could have possibly gotten the first down.
There was a lot of green in front of him.
Right. He could have probably put a move right there on the outside linebacker from De La Salle and kind of kept going with his athletic ability. I thought he, when he tries to put that touch on the ball, that's where we see that he gets himself in trouble.
So the line to make is the 49-yard line, maybe about the 48.5 actually. 3rd down and 10. They'll motion the back out, throw it to him in the flat, incomplete, overshot him that time. So,
see, that's
3 straight incompletions.
That's what we're seeing from
Freelou.
Lenny, that's what we're seeing from Freelou. We're seeing when he touches or tries to put touch on the ball, right? Wide open receiver sitting out there. All he's got to do is get it out there. The little dump passes, things like that. They're wide, they're high, they're behind the receiver. When he just throws the football and he doesn't maybe think about it, right?
Yeah.
Like on the RPO on the slant route when he's got to put it on the target and then put it on the dime. I think that's what the Hahnville coaches are talking to him right now. Throw the football.
He's 0 for his last 5. This is on a line. The punt. Nice job by the return man, LaBranch, to get out of the way of it. And De La Salle is going to start at the 22-yard line after a 39-yard punt by White. With 2:27 to play in the first half.
That was close to being blocked. I don't know how De La Salle didn't get a paw on that football. They had 4 guys camping out in the backfield before you know it, right in the punter's face, and nobody got a paw on that football.
So coming up at halftime, we'll catch you up on first half stats. We will, again, as we mentioned, we will visit with the Milford parents, which was an interesting pregame conversation, and catch you up on scores from around the state on our Crescent City Sports scoreboard from the All-State Sugar Bowl. Toss on first down.
We saw that earlier in the first quarter, a little toss out there to the running back from De La Salle. He's got nice room out there as they get all the blockers out in front on the purple jerseys, and they run it into the short side again. Why? Because Hahnville had less numbers over there.
Gain of 5 for LaBranch. It'll be 2nd and 5, the ball at the 27-yard line. So LaBranch has carried it 4 times tonight for 13 yards. Man in motion. Milford's going to let one fly down the left sideline, incomplete, and he had a man down there with a step. That was Jace Bienemy, who had beaten the defender, and had that pass been on the money, it might have been 6.
The secret was the blitz got picked up. Did you see the blitz get picked up right there? Great job by the left tackle right there from De La Salle, Big Hunter.
Hunter Karakowski is
right.
His junior. Yeah, his brother was on the line the last couple of years, graduated. Now Hunter's a junior and still around.
Did a great job picking up the blitz. Hahnville dials up the blitz right there. The answer got taken care of, and they try to hit the fade route down the boundary, and Milford overthrows the receiver.
Milford on 3rd down throws, and that is going to be called a catch. And that was Bienemy once again. That time, guess you showed the that 9 route there, and then you just stop real quick and you get yourself a first down. Stop a yard past the sticks and pick it up.
Well, you got to honor the speed. Bienemy's got nice speed right there, so he ran off and got cushion on the defender who's in man coverage, and he breaks it off at the sticks. Ball's on the number. Nice throw by Cole Milford.
So at the 34, clock ticking down to 1:45 here in the first half. They will give it away, and that is Jeremiah Wills out to about the 38-yard line, a gain of 4.
Look, this offensive line is coached well. Again, Grant Jarrett, I can't say enough about the guy and the job he does in coaching offensive linemen, right? He gets those guys, to give maximum effort all the time, and that was a great scheme right there where they're running the inside zone, and they brought the extra man over in motion to seal the edge right there, and nice job by the De La Salle running back picking his way inside to pick up nice yardage. He's got a solid offensive line up front. These guys do a great job, and they're all juniors.
Yeah, you look at the
Except
De
for the
La Salle
senior,
front.
I'm sorry. Right,
Tim Donilon,
except for Donilon,
the big guy,
who's-
6'6", 303.
Right. But
it's a front with some size too. Karakowski,
Right.
261, Howard 285, Thornton 198, Caden Jones at 280, and that may be light, and Donilon at 303.
So he's got 4 of those 5 cats coming back. Donilon will be playing somewhere at the next level next year. And if he continues growing the way, or should I say getting coached and progressing the way he does, this is a guy you might see on Sunday. Because he's very athletic. He's got great feet.
So 2nd and 6 from the 38. Man in motion, then stops, turns back, and the pass by Milford batted down, and once again, Sincere Simmons gets the pass breakup in the backfield.
All right, so I'm a college coach standing on the boundary tonight, right, Lenny?
And, we've seen a couple. We've
right.
seen a couple here. Yeah.
So guess whose number I've just written down, and I'm going to be calling on Monday with one of my calls to a coach, all right, depending on how many they can get now. I can't keep up with it all, right? And I'm saying, hey, tell me about this guy number 97, Sincere Simmons, this junior, because this guy is now on my radar because he can play.
6'3", 255 pounds.
And look, he's not playing against the slouch out there.
No,
this
no
is
doubt.
good on good. He's playing against Donilon, right? Donilon's getting the better of him sometimes. He's getting the better of Donilon sometimes. This is a great matchup. So if I'm sitting at home as an observer, right, and most people watching football at home, you guys need to watch the right tackle from De La Salle with the left defensive end, number 97, Sincere Simmons, and watch this battle going on tonight because this is really interesting.
It is. 4th down. It's like about 4. I believe that was Hahnville. They called the timeout right there with 1:24 to play to kind of force the issue a little bit. And indeed, De La Salle will send the punting unit on.
Good timeout take by the De La Salle, the Hahnville coaching staff to, as you said, force the issue. Absolutely. So they should get the ball back with, just under 1 minute 20 seconds left in the half.
And perhaps another timeout here as we go back over to the bench area.
Trying to figure out what's going on here. There's a lot of conversation on with the official. Maybe it's a clock issue by the time they got the timeout granted.
Perhaps. Simmons, we mentioned, was unanimous all-district as a sophomore. He's,
Wow. Look, I'm impressed. And if I'm a college coach sitting here tonight, I hopefully I would have this guy's number on my in my Rolodex. This is a great one-on-one battle going on between Tim Donilon, the big right offensive tackle, 6'6", 303-pound senior college prospect, and the junior Sincere Simmons.
So now we're set to go. And we'll see the punting unit once again. Seen a lot of the punting units this evening. Handled a low snap, got it away. Kick will be downed right about the 20-yard line. It'll come right at the stripe, and it'll be a 40-yard punt. And so Hahnville, with 1:11 to play, has 80 yards in front of them.
And I believe one timeout, that's what the clock shows.
Yeah, one timeout for Hahnville. It's like 2 for De La Salle. Need to add a sponsor for a window washing service this evening, Wade.
Absolutely.
That play that worked so well, they go back to it here, and it nearly worked again, about 8 yards on first down that time. And that was once again Cole Villasenor on the carry. And we got an injured player down. It may have been Villasenor, who's still down.
That is Villasenor down. He got up and his ankle kind of gave way and just sat right back down as the medical unit from Hahnville runs out to take a look at him. Yeah, really nice pop again right there. We saw that earlier in this quarter.
That same play. Right.
Same play, right. Pops it right there. So, that's something that De La Salle is going to have to answer with, come up with an answer at halftime about. Knowing Eddie Jaguar, he's got probably something in his back pocket that can shut that play down, and it's usually called technique. Right, somebody wasn't where they were supposed to be or didn't.
Some of that it's basically a delayed look.
Right.
So if you over pursue, you're leaving a gap for the offense to run through.
It's about the technique. It's about what are you doing when you get a down block, and how are you taking on the kick out block of the lead blocker, and how and where are the force being spilled to the next defensive man. And probably what's happening is they're getting walled off, and I'd have to look at it on film and see exactly how it breaks down, but they're probably not getting the fit man in the right spot at the right time, and thus it's leaving a gap and a crease, and that's what's giving Villasenor the opportunity to pop that through to the third level.
And he has been the Hahnville running game this evening. The rest of the Hahnville offense has 1 yard rushing. He has 28 on 2 carries.
Right. Well, hopefully we'll see him back in the second half if they can get his medical issue taken care of.
So 2nd down 2 as the clock will wind once again. Little screen pass set up that time. Out past the 35, 40. Flags come in from everywhere that time. As on the catch, that was Sincere Money. A lot of Sinceres on this team.
It's absolutely. I mean, this flag is behind the play. And so something happened either with
that's either a man downfield. Again, when you get a screen pass, sometimes you get that, or it's a hold. We'll wait for the signal. We'll wait patiently for the signal as they talk about it. Now maybe deciding on that side if the Cavaliers are going to accept this, or not sure why you wouldn't at this point.
Well, that's what he was doing. It was man downfield.
Man downfield and a hold. We had 2 flags. Wait. We had 2 holds. We had three penalties. Which one of the 3 do you want?
Correct, and that's what the conversation was between the white hat and Graham Jarrett right there, Coach Jarrett. And that's a good job by the official, explaining that to the coach and not explaining it to the player on the field to make that decision. So that's a good officiating right there by our white hat tonight.
So they're going to put it down at the 23-yard line, 2nd down and 7.
Of his blitzes.
Stepping up. Oh, wow. You're going to see flags everywhere as Freelou got dragged down from behind, lost his helmet, and that was scary right there. Wade. Now, again, that's a player trying to make a play. There was nothing malicious in any way there, but he just went to drag him down, and he happened to have him, by the, by the horse collar right there.
I'm thinking definitely horse collar. Let's see. Yeah, it looked like horse collar. It could have been a face mask.
It could have been a face mask. Yeah, yes. Especially when the helmet came off in that situation.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm saying face mask. Personal foul,
face mask. Yep. Then you'll add it to the end of the play here.
Right. And like you said, there was no malicious intent in that. He's just trying to reach out and make a play. That defender. It's just dangerous because when you see a helmet jerked off like that, there's somebody's head and neck is under there, and that's that kind of gets you, shivers in you real quick.
Right. So back at it. Pass is caught, and room to run out past the 50, out to about the 42-yard line and out of bounds with 8 seconds left.
They sprint Freelou out to his left, right?
Yep.
He does
That
a
was
very nice job.
Kendrick on the catch.
Right, does a very nice job finding the curled receiver, 14 back to 12, right there on the boundary, Kendrick, and he throws a very nice ball right there. It's almost like if your receiver is covered, I'm going to put the ball where it needs to be, but if he's wide open, I'm going to sail it in all different directions. Great job by Freelou right there, making something happen.
Let's see. Reach the end zone here with 8 seconds left. Do you try to get a little bit closer and then take one shot? Play action. Freelou taking a shot down the sideline. Incomplete, intended once again for Troy Kendrick.
All over that, DeAndre LeBranch does a great job at his corner position, stacking the wide receiver. All right, a lot of people, that's a football term. When my hips are stacked on your hips and you are not going to get on top of me, I'm going to keep my position to be able to make sure that you can't run and go get that football. Great job by LeBranch that time. Great technique by the 5'7", 172-pound senior. He's a good football player.
Hahnville's going to use its last timeout. Can't take them with you, right? 3 seconds left in the half, and they will talk about exactly what they're going to do right here.
You see, that's another number I would have on my books right now is number 7, LeBranch. If I'm somebody, especially in the
anywhere in Louisiana,
right,
certainly.
Right.
You got look.
Correct.
There's plenty of schools in Louisiana.
I'm signing this guy.
No
He is athletic. He does a great job out on the corner. He can run with receivers. He's got nice technique. This is a guy that would shine, I think, somewhere down the line in any one of the either mid-majors or, championship series teams.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
Very athletic. Very well coached, too. So that's Hahnville's last timeout for tonight.
Right. The Hahnville, keep in mind, Hahnville's going to get the football to start the third quarter. They won the toss and deferred. So, regardless of the result of this last play here, I think there's some things to build upon here and what Hahnville's been able to do offensively at the end of the half. Pass thrown down the field. That is going to be intercepted. Yes, it is. And coming back the other way. That is LeBranch, and he's going to get tripped up at about the 15-yard line. Great. Throwing into double coverage that time. It was still a good-looking throw, but with 2 defenders right down there, it was well played by LeBranch, who, give him credit, turned up. I'm not even sure he could have returned that ball out of the end zone, but they allowed him to return it. It came out to the 15-yard line, and that's where he was brought down.
Ball was dead in the end zone. He could not return it, but a great job by LeBranch right there, staying on top of the receiver for the Hail Mary and playing the position of the receiver, and then at the last second looking up and using his hands and catching the football. Yeah, that ball was dead. It could not come out according to Federation rules.
Right, there you go. So we are at halftime with your score, De La Salle 7 and Hahnville nothing. We've talked about more than once here this evening the interesting sidebar of this one with the twins, Cole and Jude Milford, facing off on opposite sides of the football. Cole is the De La Salle quarterback. Jude is the Hahnville linebacker. And earlier tonight, I had a chance to catch up with the parents of Cole and Jude Milford just to find out a little bit more about what things have been like in their household and what things will be like come tonight when this game is over. So let's take a listen.
With maybe the 2 most popular people here at Tiger Stadium tonight, Rebecca and Brad Milford, I know you're glad for tonight to be here and for this week to finally come to an end.
Yes, we'll want it over. We're done.
Yeah, it's smack talking since last year, no doubt.
I would assume up until now that your sons have been teammates all along the way and not having a chance really to play against each other before tonight?
Never. They've always played together. Always park ball even,
How competitive were things around the house, though? I mean, I'm sure there are things like who did something the fastest or whatever it was that they did in the backyard or whatever. So what was that like around or just around the house?
Oh, that was every day, morning, noon, night. I mean, who could run the fastest? Who could eat the fastest? You name it, they were competing at it.
Right. So, like you said, they had the chance to be teammates, but they also had a chance to be competitive. Now, so I guess this game got scheduled in the spring or so. What was the first thoughts around your house when you heard that this game was happening?
They were excited. I started getting nervous right away.
It was like, oh, Lord, here we go. Because we know how competitive they are. You know, how much they love the game, and then now they're going to face each other, you know, across the line from each other.
Now, you were mentioning to me that the best advice this week was to keep them apart for the most part. Just talk about how that all came about and how it all played out.
So with Jude, we decided he's got some friends out here at Hahnville, and it was easier for him to get to practice and get to everything. So he stayed with a friend, and that worked out really well until Wednesday when it was my birthday, and the whole family came over, and there was a lot of smack talk at that point. So, yeah, they just continued.
But up until then and after then, everything's been fairly calm, at least?
Yes. Yeah. After it was, I think they said what they had to say the other night. And left it at, I'll meet you on the field.
They spent Saturday night together, the whole night, and then from Sunday forward, they just stayed away from one another. Yes.
So, what are you going to be watching when De La Salle has the football this evening, and you've got one son on one side of the ball and one son on the other side of the ball? What is it that you are going to be watching at that point?
I'm going to watch Jude first, see his eyes, if I can see them, and then watch Cole and make sure that he's not going to get hurt, you know. So I don't want either one of them to get hurt. Have a good game, just don't get hurt.
What will things be like after the game, you think?
Well, somebody's got to lose. I mean, you know, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they'll hug and call it a day and be like, hey, respect. You know, I love you, my brother.
That doesn't change, does it? Come tomorrow morning, they're back to being brothers again.
Right, correct. But still competing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Thank you all for the time tonight, and best of luck to the Milfords this evening. So our thanks to the Milford family. Have been very welcoming as we've chatted a little bit here today and pregame. And look, it's I would not want to be them right now. There's no doubt about that. I mean, no matter what, there is going to be one winner and one loser here this evening. Although, you know, Cole has 4 completions, 11 attempts, 31 yards. Doesn't have much in the way of rushing. We've seen Jude make a couple of plays on defense. So it's, you want to find a way, I guess, that Cole puts up numbers, Jude puts up numbers. You know one way or the other, only one of them can win. So that's kind of, what you look at there. We'll get into stats in a moment. Let's take a look at some of our scores on our Louisiana Prep Football scoreboard from CrescentCitySports.com. As always, presented by the All-State Sugar Bowl. No better place to get your scores. A lot of good games on Thursday night, as we mentioned. None bigger than the game at Southeastern last night in Hammond when St. Charles Catholic defeated Newman 12-7. And yeah, give the Comets and Wayne Stein credit. Coming back with that last-minute drive, down 7-6, going the length of the field and getting the score to win that game. That was huge. Another great game over on the North Shore last night. St. Paul's defeated North Shore 21-17. That game had 4 lead changes in the fourth quarter. Back and forth they went. It was really an entertaining game. Also last night, Chalmette with a win over East Jefferson 20-13. And Chalmette is in control at the moment in District 8-5A. They are the only unbeaten team in that league. And that's one of those that's going to be interesting to watch. Second quarter, I tell you what, we saw Brother Martin last week against Drummel, and they came out and were very impressive against the Raiders, and they are not letting up in any way this evening. Second quarter, it's homecoming at Tad Gormley Stadium. Brother Martin leading Shaw 33-0. And this is a Shaw team that is certainly improved over past years.
And Brother Martin taking it to them right now. That's certainly one to watch. Halftime, Carr leading Kennedy 49-0. Second quarter, Ponchatoula over Slidell 21-7. Halftime at Hoss Memphis tonight. Jesuit and John Curtis tied at 7. That's certainly an intriguing matchup there. And that's, two of those teams that you look at in the Catholic League along with Brother Martin as you start trying to handicap how this is all going to play out. And Jesuit has always played Curtis tough since the Patriots have joined the Catholic League, and tonight is certainly no exception there. Halftime up in Hammond, Riverside leading St. Thomas Aquinas 7-0. Elsewhere, third quarter, St. James leading Donaldsonville 21-8. Halftime, Bell Chase over Lakeshore 14-7. Second quarter, across the parish and across the river in Destrehan leading Terrebonne 21-0. Halftime, they're playing this one at Yeoman Stadium tonight. Rummel and Holy Cross are tied at 7. So Holy Cross has been a little bit better since we saw them a couple of weeks ago against Jesuit. They bounced back last week with a non-district win over Helen Cox, and thus far toe-to-toe with the Raiders in the first half. 7-7 in that game at halftime. Also, second quarter, Landry Walker is up in Baton Rouge. They lead Glen Oaks by the score of 10-0. And tomorrow afternoon, I should say, St. Aug has the bye in the Catholic League this week. They are playing Westgate tomorrow. A lot of interesting scores as Wade Kaiser rejoins me here. As you look at those Catholic League scores, Brother Martin way up on Shaw, 33-0 second quarter. But the other two games tied at half. Jesuit and John Curtis 7-7. Rummel and Holy Cross 7-7. So, Wade, both of those are very intriguing. And the one thing I brought up just a minute ago is Jesuit, maybe more so than anyone else in this league, plays Curtis very tough, and they're showing it again tonight.
Well, yes. Absolutely, and that's a credit to the Jesuit coaching staff, especially the defensive coaching staff over there at Jesuit with Troy Baglio and Darryl Rule. Those guys know how to stop veer football, and yeah, those guys do a great job coaching. And coming into that game and looking at it all week, I knew that it was going to be a close football game, as they have been since John Curtis has joined the league. You're looking at the other game with Rummel and Holy Cross. Rummel is trying to bounce back after last week's soundly beating by Brother Martin, and they're trying to come up with an answer. And
Holy Cross got a little momentum, got a non-district win last week,
correct,
and they've bounced back.
And here's the deal. Holy Cross is going to give folks trouble because of just running the triple option. We talked about that weeks ago.
And it's not the type of thing, especially if you've got any kind of short week or whatever,
correct,
that you're not seeing a lot of it. You hear it in the college game as well. When teams suddenly have to go from preparing for something conventional, we're seeing more and more spread these days. It's a different type of defense you're going to play where it's all about assignment football, and it totally changes everything.
Here's the deal. It's tough to simulate in practice.
Because you don't have people that necessarily run it. You could try all you want, but you can't simulate the speed of it.
No doubt about it. And that's also when you're dealing with John Curtis and their veer triple option offense, trying to simulate what to do. And, it's just hard. It's hard to try to get yourself ready. There's some other great scores going on up there.
Yeah, we were talking about some of the games on Thursday night. A lot of great games last night, obviously headlined by that St. Charles Catholic comeback in the last minute to beat Newman last night. The other two games that were really big games. You had the East Jefferson loss to Chalmette, the Owls scoring in the fourth quarter. We saw Chalmette week one, and we saw some good things there, but would you have said as we headed to week 8 that Chalmette would be leading that district as the only undefeated team in the league right now?
Well, they were going in against a really good John Ehret team, which they beat, and then a real good West Jeff team, which they beat.
And then went to Joe Yenny last night, 13-13 going into the fourth quarter.
Correct.
Get a score in the fourth quarter, get a stop, get the ball back, and then run out the clock. And
look, East Jefferson is doing a really nice job over there with their athletes in a spread offense, making sure they're spreading the ball around.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's take a look at the first half stats of this one tonight. The numbers actually pretty balanced with one notable exception. As you'll see there at the bottom of the screen, it's those 3 turnovers by Hahnville that have really kind of made a difference in this game. And that's, in reality, it wasn't a turnover, although it almost operated like one. But it was that maybe the biggest play of the first half was that 60-yard punt by Millette that pinned Hahnville at the 4-yard line. The De La Salle defense stepped up, forced a 3-and-out, got the short field, and went in and scored the only touchdown of the first half. They have not been able to capitalize off the turnovers as they were.
Well, that punt is the play of the first half. I mean, that set up that, De La Salle scoring opportunity, and that's the play of the first half. So easy come, easy go. Then he shanks one and sets Hahnville up, and they can't capitalize. So, but if you look at those stats right there, Hahnville found some running room in the latter part of the second quarter right there with Villa
Senor popped a couple of plays. Yeah, they finally got some things going, and you see they've only got 29 yards on the ground. He got 28 of them on 2 runs.
And I said they've got to do something with their running game. They've got to get something going. That'll open up the rest of their RPO and their play action stuff. So, if you look at the stats, they are pretty well even, except for those turnovers where the ball was forced in, and Richardson had 2 of those.
And then, Richardson with 2, and then on the last play of the first half, you had the interception from LaBranch as well. So that has the Cavaliers a +3 in the turnover margin, which I know as a coach, you love to see that, although you would also like to have scored something off of those turnovers as well, and that has not been the case thus far.
Well, I think they talk about it in the pro game, and it's called scoring defense, right? Okay, so how often do you capitalize when you get the turnovers, right? It's good to get the turnover. That's awesome. What do you do with it after?
Right.
And you want to get something going, and and it could be hidden yardage, whereas you flip the field off the turnover, right? Or of course you'd like to have points.
No doubt about it. We mentioned this De La Salle schedule and who they've faced some strong challenges along the way. St. Charles Catholic on a Saturday afternoon at Tad Gormley. They ended up turning that into a home game because St. Charles was not ready to host a game at that point. Then so that would have conceivably been a road game as well. That got them a home game.
If I'm not mistaken, they played at Tad Gormley.
They did, and then you had, you went to Lake Charles, you went to Scotlandville. The Landry game was also played at Tad Gormley, though technically it was Landry's home game. Of course, coming here tonight, and then you get a chance. Then they've got get into district where you've got Haynes, Kenner Discovery, Thomas Jefferson in the league, and on paper they should be heavily favored to win those games. And if you could hold on and win tonight, that puts you in a pretty good position when you start looking at a Division II this year that you expected going in that St. Thomas More was going to be the chalk, but they faced a brutal schedule, and now Walker Howard is injured and don't know if he's going to make it back this year. That changes the LSU committed quarterback. So that certainly changes everything. So as you look at the unofficial power ratings, if you will, in Division II, it is it's not what you normally expect to see out there. It's normally you're looking at St. Thomas More, De La Salle sitting out there at 1 and 2. That's not necessarily the case. It's a little bit different and shall we say a little bit off of the norm. You got University Labs sitting out there at number 1. They've got a huge game going on tonight. That airing on Your View against Madison Prep. E.D. White at 4-0 is sitting there number 2. E.D. White's got a gigantic game coming up next Friday night against Lutcher in Thibodaux. Then you've got De La Salle at 3. You've got Turlings at 4. You've got Liberty at 5. You got to go all the way down to number 7 to find St. Thomas More sitting there at 2 and 4. Now, when you look at their strength of schedule, it's way above everyone else in there, and they've taken on all comers, haven't been afraid to face anybody, and they're probably going to pick up some wins down the stretch, and that's going to rise a little bit. And they're going to, because of the strength of their schedule, continue to get those points from those teams winning games as well.
this seems like a theme right now in the state of Louisiana, right? Okay, injuries and how much they impact your football team in the season, right? Okay, and you can see that definitely with St. Thomas More.
Sure.
Okay, so that goes on at all levels. It goes on every year, and it's going on right now in our state, up in Baton Rouge, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody's making excuses, but you can see when you lose guys that are impact players on your team that you are counting on to make critical plays, like in this instance, the quarterback from St. Thomas More.
Yeah, no question about it. You got a lot of other players around him. He is by no means a one-man band.
No.
And I will tell you that, De La Salle fans remember that game a year ago up in Natchitoches for the state championship. That was as good a game as we saw in Louisiana high school football a year ago. And that was a great game.
And he is as good of a quarterback coming out as we've seen in a while in this state.
No doubt. We mentioned that U-High Madison Prep game. U-High with a 21-6 lead in the second quarter. So you got talent on both sides of the field in that game, much like we're seeing out here tonight. Right. I had a chance to do that game a couple of years ago, and it was that night we expected a great game, and Madison Prep blew their doors off. And, I can imagine, that's a very good Madison Prep team that won a state championship a year ago in Class 3A, and they may be the best team in Class 3A again this year, but right now it's been University High, and that was the first team that De La Salle had to deal with in trying to get to a state championship. They played them in 2017. We remember that U-High team, but I think they had about 11 Division I signees, seniors off that team in 2017. They may have been the best team in all classes in the state that year, including Carr and Catholic and Curtis and everybody else who was having big years at that level. That was a phenomenal University High team, and of course that De La Salle team in 2017. You had Julian Gums at quarterback, who of course now is starting at running back at Nichols and has been sensational there.
Right.
There's a very, very talented team, and that was the first of what has started now a run here for De La Salle. He got to the semis in 16, got to the finals in 17, the semis in 18, back-to-back trips to the championship in 19 and 20, looking to get over the hump and finally lift that gold trophy. All right, so we're set for the second half of football. Hahnville won and deferred, so they get the football to start the third quarter. Another squib kick, staying away from the deep kick, and Hahnville's going to start here at the 38-yard line.
Great starting field position for the Tigers. Let's see if they've come out and made some adjustments to get their run game going. That's what I'm going to be interested in seeing taking place here, and it's good to see Villasenor coming back into the game. Is
he out there? Yeah. Actually, no. That looks like that is that is running back. That may be Kajon Smith back in there.
That is Kajon Smith. That's my mistake.
Yeah, see if we see Villasenor on the sideline somewhere. I don't immediately see number 1 out there, but on first down. Give it away to Smith. Look to get to the outside. Now cuts it back up in. A nice run out to the 44-yard line. A gain of 7 on first down.
He does a nice job just kind of slowing down and picking his way at first until a hole opens up, and then he bursts through it, and he bursts right into the secondary. Look how he's patient right here, right behind his blockers, and then all of a sudden he gets his shoulder pads north and south, and then he turns on his jets, and he's in the secondary.
Kajon Smith came in tonight, 10 carries for 49 yards. Thus far tonight, 3 carries for 4 yards.
Look, he's a big running back now. He's a load to bring down.
5'11", 205 pounds, a senior. Play action. Pass is caught, first down, and that is Kendrick, his favorite target.
Well, there's the RPO again. To me, I think the ball should have been given, but I'm not seeing what Freelou's seeing on the field. If I'm reading that strong safety or that outside linebacker out there in a white jersey and he's not going with the run play, I'm giving the ball to the running back. That should have been the read on the RPO.
Freelou handles a high snap. They fake that little sweep. Now he's going to put it down and go, and he's got room to run out to the 35-yard line. Nice little play right there. They kind of showed a little bit of that look with Smith in the backfield with the play they had success with Villasenor. But this time, instead of handing it off, Freelou just put it down and ran with it.
Right. He makes a nice decision. He just tucks it and goes and picks up nice yardage and moves the chains. He's athletic, okay? I mean, he can run the football. He's got to get a little bit better with his passing to wide open receivers. And I'm sure they talked about that at halftime with him. Hey, throw the football. Knock him down.
At the 35 of De La Salle, first possession of this third quarter. Now they'll go back to that play with Smith, and it is well defended that time. You talked about, hey, Jacquelard would make adjustments right there, and you saw it with Michael Thomas and Kedrick Richardson, two returning starters at linebacker, both stepping up to make that play a loss of 3.
Well, the adjustment was fit in the right place. Okay, and that time Kedrick Richardson fit in the right place, and there was no place for the running back to go. That's the adjustment. Do what you're supposed to do. Right. That's your job. Yeah. Fit off of the spot where the defensive end is blowing everything up and kicking it out to you.
Trips to the bottom of your screen.
Blitz.
He'll give it away, but not much doing once again with Smith on the carry. No gain.
Michael Thomas hit him in the backfield off the blitz. Nobody picked him up, but he ran right through Michael Thomas's arms. The 5'10", 221-pound junior linebacker slows him down enough for the rest of the guys in the white jerseys to get there. De La Salle gets a lot of run-throughs when they blitz people. Hahnville's got to have some sort of answer for that.
The motion Smith out of the backfield. Now Freelou throws. That pass is going to be incomplete. It was intended for Kendrick. Right at the sticks, and it's decision time right now for Daniel Luquette. On 4th and 13, you're in no man's land right there at the 38-yard line.
You gotta get something going offensively. You just talked at halftime about making a statement on your first drive. I think being in no man's land, this is 4-down territory for them, and they're going to have to make a statement and go for it.
Line to make is the 25. Play clock down at 4. Now it just went off. It was sitting at 4, and all of a sudden went off. I think we may have had a timeout call before that.
I think what they were looking to do to see if...
Oh, no, they called timeout. They took the delay of game. That's what it was.
They took the delay, and they were looking and waiting to see if possibly De La Salle was going to show its hand on how it was going to blitz and what it was going to do with its coverage. And then when it ran all the way down, they just took the delay in game and brought their punting team back out and gave them a little bit more room.
I've never liked the idea in a situation like this of calling a timeout and then punting, then punting the football.
Correct. Yeah. You waste the timeout.
Fair catch is called by LaBranch at, they'll call it the 16-yard line. Let's see where they put it down. Right about the 16, maybe the 17, but De La Salle is going to start this first possession of the third quarter for them inside their own 20-yard line. Gives us a chance to remind you that Crescent City Sports Prep Football is brought to you by Gibbs Construction, a leader in the construction industry in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast for more than 35 years, transforming dreams, visions, and plans into reality. Gibbs Construction. Call it the 17-yard line to get this drive underway. And on first down, that is Miles Sider without much room to run, as he had a host of purple shirts waiting for him as he tried to run off the left side that time.
Well, they shut down the inside zone that time. Great job by the Hahnville defensive front seven. Got off blocks, made plays. What you got to do, you got to be able to, stretch it out, fit those linebackers in there, and that's what they did that time for no gain.
Try to go that way again, and once again, it's a lot of white hats and purple jerseys waiting
playing with a little fire under their tail right there.
So
Getting a lot of guys to the ball, so I'm sure at halftime there were a few words that were spoken between the defensive staff and their starting defensive unit. I mean, I can only imagine, right? So,
no doubt.
Been there, done that.
Look, they, while they gave up 7, okay, they held De La Salle under 100 yards of offense in the first half.
Well, they're just looking for a little bit more spark. Here comes the blitz by the guys in purple.
And incomplete. They were trying to hit the slant play that time to Millette, and it falls incomplete, and it's going to be a 3-and-out for the Cavaliers.
Hahnville brings the house. They bring their 2 inside linebackers, 1 off the edge, 1 inside. They come down and play man-free off of it, so they tie everything up across the board with underneath coverage, and the ball was very well defended that time by the Hahnville secondary.
So now, Hahnville's got a chance to flip the field with position here. Let's see what happens with this punt by Millette. We mentioned that punt in the first half, that 60-yarder, may have been the key play of the half. He handles a high snap, gets it away, and that's a good kick. Fielded at the 38, and there's white shirts everywhere waiting for the return man, Kendrick, at the 38-yard line. He's actually knocked back to the 36-yard line. That's a huge play right there, a net of 47, I should say, on that punt, Wade.
On the coverage by Kedrick Richardson, number 10, the linebacker, does a nice job. We've called his name a few times tonight with a couple of interceptions. He's down there to make the hit on a great punt to flip the field for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, a not so good punt. It would have set up Hahnville in good position. They've still got the football at the 36-yard line, but keep in mind, when they punted it from the De La Salle 43. De La Salle went 3-and-out, didn't gain a yard, and punts it back to him, and now they take over at the 36-yard line. Pass this way on first down. We've called the name of Troy Kendrick multiple times this evening as he brings that one in for a gain of 8 on the pass from Freelou.
Very nice setup out there with the wide receiver screen. Troy Kendrick gets out there and picks up nice yardage for Hahnville, and it puts them into a second and real short situation. This opens up the playbook for everything now. Take a shot, get the first down, run the football, RPO, anything you want to, and even a trick possible.
Motion to back out of the backfield. He stays in the flat, actually takes in the pass, and a host of Cavalier defenders led by, I believe that was Drew Poche coming up from his line. I believe that was 25, maybe that was 26. Cody Morris coming up, but that was well defended that time by the Cavaliers, and no gain, or actually a loss of 1 on the play.
Freelou looking at the 4 verticals downfield. The 4 verticals were defended very well by the Cavalier secondary, so he checks the ball down to the back. Nowhere to go. De La Salle's all over that. But he did check those 4 verticals. I like the scheme. Blitz.
Pass caught. Out past midfield, 45-40, and stepping out of bounds is once again Troy Kendrick. He's been the best weapon for this Hahnville passing game. That will gain 15 yards out to the 42-yard line of De La Salle.
Everybody saw De La Salle bring the blitz, and they jumped the coverage down to man right there. A little too much cushion out there on Kendrick. A little too much cushion. They need to tighten down that man coverage, let him catch the ball, and let him get away.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 42. Tried to go slant and go that time. Thought he had the man. Instead, Freelou rolls the other way, runs, and gets the first down.
That's all Freelou right there.
Thought he had Smith on the little hitch and go, and
it was a double move, hitch and go, covered very well by De La Salle. Freelou makes a very good decision right there. Just doesn't throw the ball and risk putting it in, another turnover situation. What does he do? He tucks it and he runs for the sticks and he gets the first down. Very nice job by Donovan Freelou.
Gain of 10. He now has 28 yards rushing tonight. He's picked up 24 of that here in the second half. Freelou's going to run it again on first down and get out near the sticks again to the 23-yard line, a gain of 9. So we've seen a lot more of Freelou trying to run the football here in this third quarter.
He's their running game. We haven't seen Villasenor back, so he must still be out. So what they're doing is they're putting Freelou in the situation where, like, that was zone read right there that time, and he does a nice job reading it, and he pulls it, and he picks up nice yardage. So he's becoming, in essence, their running back.
It's going to be second and a long one.
Which is fine. I mean, you got to find a way to run the football. If you got to do it with your quarterback, then do it with your quarterback. But that's put De La Salle on its heels, and they're scrambling a little bit now, trying to figure out what to do in order to take care of another running back in the backfield and a quarterback, Freelou.
At the 24, Freelou will RPO that time, complete to Kendrick. Out to the 15, still on his feet, 10-5, touchdown. Touchdown, Hahnville. 24 yards, or make that 23 yards on the catch and run from Donovan Freelou to Troy Kendrick.
Troy Kendrick does a great job right there making Kenneth Vaughn miss. Kenneth Vaughn gets out there, should have made the tackle one-on-one, just does not, and Troy Kendrick walks it into the end zone for Tigers' first score of the night. You can see the missed tackle right there. Great blocking downfield by the other wide receiver, which was, if I'm not mistaken, number 11.
It might have been 15. It might have been Josh Smith right there.
Was it? Could have been Josh Smith. Yeah. Josh Smith doing a great job blocking downfield right there to give Kendrick the chance to get into the end zone. But it started with the RPO. Great decision by Freelou to get the ball out on the edge. Missed tackle by Kenneth Vaughn. Touchdown, Tigers.
Kick is good, and with 5:22 remaining in the third quarter, we have a tie football game, Wade. De La Salle 7 and Hahnville 7.
Have you noticed how Hahnville has been playing with a little bit more purpose the second half?
I definitely see some more energy from the home sideline. No question about that. Now it's time for De La Salle to answer here. Let's see what they come up with.
Well, they become a little complacent. Those are things that you're fighting all the time with the mental capacity of what you're dealing with athletes, right? But I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall to hear what was said in that Hahnville locker room. Was there a table flipped? Was there a Gatorade cooler punched? What was said, or maybe nothing. Maybe all you have to do is sometimes just walk in and say nothing, and they figure it out. So the psyche of an athlete, the psyche that goes on in a locker room, is one of the greatest things that I think is the untold story of athletics. That's why they say the locker room is a sanctuary. Mm-hmm. And you can see with Hahnville right now playing with a lot more intensity in their game.
White to kick it off. And not much doing that time for LaBranch on the return out to about the 25-yard line.
Great job. A lot of purple jerseys on that coverage right there.
So after a bunch of games on Friday nights, Wade, that maybe haven't been that close, we were filling time and talking about lots of different things in the fourth quarter. We might have a good one on our hands this evening.
Well, we got one going on right now. Two really good football teams, two well-coached football teams that know how to make adjustments, and it's going to be fun this rest of this half to watch each other make adjustments to one another offensively and defensively.
Starting at the 25. There's a quarterback keeper there on first down, and I think Milford needed to show that a little bit just to try to maybe open things up on the outside. That's all part of that same read option game that we're seeing more and more of. You're seeing it on the other side, certainly, and you've got to be able to make the other team respect that. You've got any kind of option football, you've got to show all the different options in your game.
Well, with the RPO game, you always have something built off of it.
Now they'll throw it out this way in the flat. Trying to turn the corner is Jace Bienemy, and he got right near the first down. It looks like they gave him the 34, and it's going to be 3rd down and 1.
Well, nice swing pass off of the play action out there with blocking out on the edge by the wide receivers, and Bienemy does a nice job catching it and finding room to run, and he is close to the first down, but it looks like it's still going to be...
It's about a yard short. About a yard short.
Yep.
So Bieniemy with his third catch of the night.
He was drug out of bounds by Chase Morales, the sophomore linebacker.
Oh, and pressure in the backfield and not getting to the line to gain that time is Sider. Now it's decision time because they're going to say he lost about a half yard. So it's 4th and maybe a yard and a half.
Well, there was no answer for the Hahnville blitz. Again, when they've put pressure on and they've brought their blitzes, they're not getting picked up, and that's what happened right there.
Well, this is an interesting decision. De La Salle lining up to go for it. We got flags in the backfield. Well, let's see what this is about. It is a false start against De La Salle.
Somebody twitched a little bit too soon. They were going to jump up there and see if they can draw somebody off sides real quick or possibly snap the ball on a quarterback sneak, and someone twitched. I didn't see it from up here who it could possibly have been, but there was movement.
Judging by the Hahnville coaches on the near sideline, they saw it as well.
Well, this is probably something that's been shown by De La Salle in previous games, so Hahnville was ready for it to take place because they had an answer real quick on how they were going to defend it. They brought both linebackers up into the A-gaps immediately to attack the possible quarterback sneak.
Now Millett with another outstanding kick. This will drive back to the 20-yard line. Now room to run, and it's well defended after that. A great one-on-one tackle right there. Give credit, Wade. That was Drew Poche, I believe, 25 on that play, who stepped up and made that one-on-one tackle after the initial escape by Kendrick. He made a couple of guys miss and looked like he had room to run.
Well, Kendrick, you can watch him right here. They have great coverage by the guys in white. Watch him make two guys miss right here. Zip. And then here comes the one-on-one tackle that you just talked about. Very nice tackle in the open field.
That's Poche's another one of those freshmen. Right. They've got him. They've got him at every freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. They've got players that are contributing at every level.
Well, let me tell you, this guy can punt. Right? That's another number I'm writing down in my book. Right?
That was 51 yards on that punt.
Wow.
Give it away on first down, and a nice run off the left side right there, as picking up about 5 is Keyshawn Smith out to the 25-yard line.
Nice job by the left side of the Hahnville line that time. Just zone blocking, getting a body on a body, getting some movement on that De La Salle defensive line. Over there, that looked like Jerry and Shelby and Nathan Breville, both a senior and a junior respectively, doing a nice job getting some movement on that De La Salle defensive line to run that inside zone.
Yeah, Shelby is a Tulane commitment, 6'5", 295 pounds. That's number 77 down at the bottom of your screen. And that play is blown up in a hurry, as that was Josh Joseph on the carry that time, and he lost 4 yards on the play.
That was Timothy Maxson, who we've called his name once or twice tonight, 6'1", 266-pound sophomore. Does a nice job getting penetration in the backfield and blowing that up.
Joseph came in 24 carries, 108 yards. That's the first time we've called his name on a carry tonight. In there now, motioning out. So you got 4 receivers to the top. Quarterback's going to keep it out past the 40, first down.
That's what happens when you go empty. You're going to get those linebackers out of the box. De La Salle goes man, so they get the back out of the box. That takes another linebacker out of there. They only left one in the box. Milford.
That's Freelou, just one guy you got to miss, yeah.
Right. Freelou does a great job seeing that. Just quarterback draws right up the middle, puts a move on the other linebacker, and picks up the first down.
Well, that's clearly an adjustment that Eddie Jacklar Jr. will have to make here.
Well, it's got to be.
If we're seeing more and more of that, you've been seeing that back motion out, especially in these situations.
You could do something with your defensive lineman with that to try to take away that quarterback draw in those A-gaps.
Freelou's pass incomplete on first down. It'll be 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 43-yard line.
See, that's an interesting concept. So you're going to see how they're going to defend those empty formations, and if they're going to start removing bodies from the box, run the football. You got the numbers. And like we said, Freelou right now is the best running back on the field for Hahnville.
Freelou's going to keep it this time. Slides to about the 48-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 5. Freelou in the first half had 4 yards rushing, Wade.
Right.
He's got 50 yards in the third quarter alone.
Well, they've come
on
up
5 carries.
Right. They've come up with an answer to run the football. That right there was zone read, and he did a nice job reading the down defensive lineman, chasing the back. He pulls it out, and he goes and picks up 3 or 4 yards.
And that's been an enormous difference here in terms of, Hahnville's dominated this third quarter. And Freelou will keep it again and has room to run. Out past the 45 to the 44-yard line before he's finally dragged down, a gain of 8.
Well,
and another first down.
Again, he read the inside linebacker that time. If the inside linebacker went with the running back, he's pulling the ball and running the quarterback ISO. There it goes right there. And he makes 2 or 3 people escape. Or miss, should I say, and he escapes and does a nice job picking up the first down.
He's also thrown for 29 yards here in the quarter, besides running for 58. So he's accounted for 87 yards of offense here in this third quarter.
Well, they're controlling the clock. That's the next thing. That's what the run's doing for him.
Well, that, and the defense has got 2 3 and outs as well. RPO, caught, and stepping out of bounds right at the sticks is Troy Kendrick.
He pulls the ball off the RPO. It was the right read. Wide receiver was wide open. They had the numbers out there. They were counting the numbers. If they had the numbers, that was going to be the part of the RPO. If the numbers were right, I'm going to pull the ball and I'm going to throw it out to my wide receiver. And he made a nice read that time and delivered a nice football.
Kendrick now with 6 catches for 62 yards.
See, people got to understand what RPOs are. It's either a count on numbers or it's reading what a particular defensive person does, and I'm going to react to either the numbers or what the defensive person does.
We have completed 3 quarters in Booty. 12 minutes to play. In regulation, your score, De La Salle 7, Hahnville 7. Back with the fourth quarter. Right after this, you're watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. So we switch sides, and Hahnville will head left to right. They dominated the third quarter, Wade. Just controlled the ball. They drove. Did have to punt once, but then they drove 64 yards, got a touchdown. They started this drive at their 30. They're now at the De La Salle 34-yard line. But more importantly, the Hahnville defense held De La Salle to 2 3 and outs.
Well, that's what running the football also does for you.
Right. Setting up the screen. That wasn't going anywhere right there, as that was intended for Kajon Smith, but it fell incomplete.
And if I'm not mistaken, right there sniffing that screen out was Michael Thomas, 5'10", 221-pound junior, comes in with 15 tackles. He led the team last year with 48. He's a good football player.
Hey, you don't get a lot of enormous numbers at De La Salle because, again, they've had several games where you get into blowouts, you get some guys out of there. That is incomplete. That was coming back this way. That was intended for Kobe Lewis, the freshman wide receiver. First time we've called his name this evening, and that was very nearly intercepted.
Guess by who?
Was that Richardson again in the middle of that?
It was Richardson. Got his hand. His job when he reads passes to out there, if there's a one receiver, is to get underneath the one receiver, flatten out and get under in my drop under the number one receiver. He flattened out, got under the drop, got into his drop, and almost picked that ball off.
Play action. Pass is incomplete. It was high in the direction of Josh Smith Jr.
They had an issue with that. They've got two receivers in the same route. Something was wrong. There was supposed to be a rail off that, I believe. It was a curl, flat rail. And if you look at it, you got two receivers both curl in the same area, which left everybody right there all bunched up. And then there was the flat route, which was covered. Nobody broke out into the rail up the boundary to be able to stretch that thing vertically.
So 4-down territory here at the 34-yard line, 4th and 10. And the Tigers going for it. This time they will hand it away. And look at this, 1st down and then some. Out to the 19-yard line goes Smith.
Big play right there on 4th down. That was what the doctor ordered for the Tigers. Smith does a nice job on the sweep right there. Finds a hole, gets vertical, get his huge body north and south. And turned on the Jets right there. And all of a sudden he's running around in the De La Salle secondary. He's a big guy to bring down.
Hahnville in the red zone.
Haven't said that much tonight, right? This is a huge opportunity for the Tigers.
Haven't said it tonight because their scoring play was 23 yards. They scored from outside the red zone. It's the first time they've been this deep all night. Pass caught. Out to about the 13-yard line goes Titus White.
90 game or quick drop and throw. Everybody hitches up right there. He hits White, and he gets himself a nice little pickup, yak after the catch, yards after the catch right there.
So gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Well, maybe they'll put this back at the 14-yard line. They will. 2nd and 5. Ball at the 14-yard line. Play action. Freelou trying to escape. Had a shoestring tackle right there, and it looks like there was an injured De La Salle player down at the 11-yard line who's slow to get up. Now he will get up. That was Ramon Cole, the big senior defensive lineman.
Freelou comes an inch away from breaking that, right? He just gets dragged down by his jersey right there. Again, he's been their running attack tonight for the most part, and he pulls the ball off of the read right there and gets north and south, and he almost just goes. De La Salle jumps into man right there, and they bring the house, trying to apply some sort of pressure, force the issue, trying to do something, make something happen, and Freelou was scorched through into the end zone.
They've got it loaded up to the bottom of your screen, and Freelou will keep it and get the 1st down. Did I see a flag come in there late? I believe I did.
I see a flag. I see a helmet.
And there's a helmet off. And that the helmet that's off is Freelou, so maybe it's a face mask.
That was quarterback counter right there with a kick out and a seal around by the backside tackle. He was just trying to pick his way through there, and he got real close to that 1st down. Also lost his helmet. He's still going to have to come off the field for one play.
If it's on a penalty, if it's a penalty that caused it, then he does not.
Right. Correct.
And he's got his helmet back on. Let's see what this is all about. We haven't seen any kind of signal yet. We see the referees conferring at about the 7-yard line.
He was just kind of buying his time to get his offensive lineman out in front of him and try to find a little gap, and he did. There's your face mask call, so he'll stay in the game. It wasn't a personal foul, so it should be 5 yards.
Or it doesn't matter because they were inside the 10-yard line, so it's half the distance anyway.
That is correct.
So 1st and goal, they put it down at the 4-yard line. And again, they go jumbo to the bottom of your screen, and Freelou doesn't have much going that time, although the pile's still moving. They're going to put it down, looks like right about the 2-yard line, maybe just a little bit inside of there.
Lining 2 guys up at what they call I call it the sniffer position, which is a couple of feet right off the back of the offensive lineman, and they're trying to lead those 2 guys up through the hole onto the linebackers, and Freelou's trying to follow them right in behind the 2 sniffers and pound it into the end zone.
We got a whistle. An official timeout. Let's see what's going on here. Is Freelou coming off? Oh, he's got to leave the game here. Is it some kind of equipment issue, perhaps? And now we're going to see, it's like Calvin Smith, the freshman, coming in. Let's see how they line this up, or who Now we got a timeout taken by Hahnville with 8:29 to play. Now, I know if you get a situation like this where there's an equipment situation or something that takes you out for a play, if you call timeout, other levels, that will allow you to do it. But if
Right.
not,
it could also be a blood situation.
Okay.
All right, so, he could be bleeding from his chin or his nose or something of that nature. He could have gotten scratched when he got the helmet pulled off, and he could have some sort of exposed blood. So it could be a number of things. It could have been equipment. It could have been blood. It could have possibly been, believe it or not, some sort of head injury or protocol for concussion, because he's walking back to the sideline right now, and he's
still not coming back in.
He's staying off the field. So
exactly.
It could be one of two or three things. I'm guessing possible blood, because he looks like he's standing next to his offensive coordinator and he's ready to go. He's got his helmet on, and they're not checking him out for any type of concussion or anything else. So my guess was a blood issue, that they got cleaned up and wiped up real fast. Same formation. Look at the sniffers right there.
Yeah, put the football with the 2. Now they're going to shift them out a little wide. And the direct snap went. Did he get in there? That was Joseph on the run. Yes, touchdown.
Well, I like the scheme. I like how they kind of shifted all three at the same time. That was meant to kind of bounce outside, but he saw the inside path. That was Calvin Smith saw the inside path right there to be able to ram it up inside to get the touchdown for the Tigers. Nice little goal line scheme by Hahnville.
Wait, what a drive that was. 16 plays, 70 yards, 6 minutes and 59 seconds. And oh, by the way, let's see. Well, you did have some passes in there. You had some incomplete passes, but you only had 2 completions that covered any ground in there. So basically, the majority of the yardage coming from the ground game.
Well, they found the ground game, and I said that was one of the things back in the first half that they needed to find, and they found it. And how did they find it? Running a quarterback.
Trying to see what's going on here. Now they'll wind the clock. It looks like did they not call this a touchdown? No, they called it short.
They called it short.
I thought we saw hands come up on this side, but you see the yard marker on the other side. It's 3rd down at the half-yard line.
I think the Hahnville coaching staff saw a touchdown also, and they were running their PAT team on the field, but all of a sudden we're back out in a goal line offense.
All right, now we got whistles, and we've got a timeout De La Salle this time. We're sitting here talking about a scoring drive, everything else. What a strange situation there.
Well, I did see arms go up.
Yeah, the arms came up from the linesman on this side of the field.
Correct.
But obviously the look was better on the other side of the field. We're going to get another look at this play here and see what happens.
Watch the shift. You'll see the 3 sniffers will shift to their right. There's your shift. And here we go. Oh, my goodness.
That's Joseph on the carry. I mean, it's just there's a scrum at the bottom there, and obviously when they unpiled it, there was a gap between the ball and the end zone.
Well,
it sure looked like at first like he got in, but I guess not.
We couldn't see the line judge on the replay coming down the line with his arms up, but I believe I saw his arms up.
We saw it. I absolutely saw it on this side.
And then so did the Hahnville coaches, and they're running their kicking unit out there on the field. So here we are. We're inches from the goal line. If that thing is not resting on the white line, I don't know how close you got to get.
Well, the interesting thing now is you're able to get Freelou back in the game at quarterback.
Correct.
So it's 3rd and maybe a foot to go. You want to bet anybody but 4 touches this year? Oh, guess what? Made a liar out of me, Wade. Handed off, touchdown. That was Smith on the carry on the 1-yard run. So a 17-play drive. That just took more time off the clock, actually. So now it's a 7-minute and 26-second drive, 17 plays, 70 yards. And now Tate White to make it a 14-7 game. Kick is up, kick is good, and your new score with 7:51 to play is Hahnville 14 and De La Salle 7.
Well,
Hahnville has found things on offense, and they have stepped up on defense because the 2 times De La Salle had the football, they went 3 and out.
Well, they found 2 things. Number one, they found a renewed energy, okay? And sometimes that comes from a well-intended wording at halftime. The second thing they found was a running game. They found a way to move the ball and run the ball, control the clock, and that answer is using Freelou as a running back. You know, not to say that Smith hasn't given his input into the running game a little bit, or K'Jon Smith or Joseph. Those guys have run the ball a couple of times, but the answer has been Donovan Freelou on running that football this second half for the Hahnville Tigers.
Short kick will come on a bounce to about the 14-yard line, looking to cross to the other side of the field and get something going there. Was Jace Bienemy, and he's brought down just past the 25.
Well, it's going to be interesting. De La Salle's got to come up with something here as an answer offensively, not just a 3 and out. All right, so
you got to move the sticks a little bit. And the other thing, I think the way Hahnville has moved the football here, Wade, this might be your last chance. You might need to score right here and do something on this possession, because
you might not
what Hahnville's done in the second half, you might not get the football back.
Exactly. So,
especially coming off a 7-minute, 26-second scoring drive, and there's 7:42 to play.
De La Salle's got to get Cole Milford going.
Milford will keep it on first down, and I think that's his brother on the stop. Indeed it is. It's a gain of 1. It's the second time we've seen the twin on defense bring down the twin on offense.
Making memories. That's what it is.
They'll
making
talk
memories.
They'll talk about this one tonight and the next day and the next day.
As they grow up in life, their sons and their children will all be a part of the conversation.
Then they can watch the broadcasts going back in perpetuity on Crescent City Sports.
There you go.
Milford looking to take a shot. Got a man! And that is caught and out of bounds at the, let's see, where are they going to put it? Or do they call it incomplete? Let's see. Where are they? I thought it was a catch. I thought he was going up to spot the football there, Wade.
Well, I thought it was a catch, too. I didn't see any incomplete sign.
No, they called it incomplete.
Again, off a play-action pass, taking a shot. The receiver had a step on the defender.
But let's apologize here off the bat as you take a look at it, Wade. But we're dealing with kind of foggy, glazed-over windows here in the press box. So.
Oh, okay. There was your incomplete signal by the back judge down there, giving it down the boundary. So yes, it was on the spot. And he made the right call.
Whistles before this one can start. Timeout De La Salle, and the Cavaliers now will have just 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah, we are.
Hahnville has 2, De La Salle has 1 as we play with 7:01 to go.
We are kind of working with some glazed over windows here.
Yeah.
So
we've done our part to try. Look, it's obviously it's hopefully the last warm, humid night we have for a while.
Right.
But we know we're in New Orleans.
Note to oneself: bring a squeegee next time we come to Hahnville.
There you go. We try to prepare for do our homework, prepare for everything. They've done some nice improvements to the press box here at Tiger Stadium since the last time we were here, and one of those things was to enclose things, take out windows that opened, and nice air conditioning in here. It's very comfortable, but look, you know how it works. You get in your car at early in the morning, and you've got to wipe down your windows before you can drive.
Exactly. This is one of the great stadiums in the metropolitan area. There's been so much history that has taken place in this stadium, and it's one of my favorite places to come watch a game, as well as it was fun to come here and coach a game.
Line to make is the 36. Milford will let one fly. Got a man! He is gone. 20-10, 5 touchdown. Jace Bienemy, 73 yards on the catch and run.
He hits Bienemy on a rail route.
And you had 2 guys. I don't know if something got messed up there, Wade, because you had 2 guys running side by side.
Well, one was supposed to break it off into a curl route. The other one was in the rail route. You'll see it right here. There's the in. There should have been the curl, and there's the rail route by Bieniemy, who's wide open, who gets about 4 steps on the defender. Look, what about the ball being delivered on the numbers by Milford? What a great throw. What a great throw by Milford, getting that ball out there. Great protection by the offensive line. Huge play, puts De La Salle a chance to tie the score here with a kick.
PAT for the try. Oh, we got a bad snap. Now he's going to have to try to run for it, and he's not going to get there. The snap was high, and Deontay LeBranch tried to run for it and could not get to the corner. Now let's see, is there a flag? We've got multiple flags now. Hang on a second. We may have a flag. Nope, they picked it up. I'm sorry. I thought I saw a flag down at the 9-yard line.
Something was wrong at the start of that play.
Nothing. It was like, and I understand everything was off kilter for De La Salle with trying to get personnel out there, and you're down to one timeout. You didn't want to have to burn a timeout to try to kick the extra point right there.
Right.
And there's a lot of time left in this game. It's 6:49 to go. So
something happened, and you saw it there on the replay. LeBranch stands up. The snap is high. He's motioning something either to the kicker or the sideline. So the whole thing was out of whack to start off with. That leaves us with a 1-point deficit right there, and ouch. That 1 point hopefully won't come back to haunt you. But I can't speak enough about that ball and Cole Milford put out there on the numbers to Bieniemy. What a great throw and catch right there. Once Bieniemy got the ball, he just ran away from everybody. He showed his wheels.
So the kickoff coming from the 40. Capasso has squibbed the last couple here. And line drive this time to the 25-yard line. Return brought out to about the 36, 37-yard line. And that's where Hahnville will begin. 6:41 to play. 14-13 Tigers.
Well, you're right. I mean, Hahnville could actually run this clock out if they come back and put together the same scenario that they did on the last drive.
The biggest adjustment, I think, that De La Salle has to make at this point is they have got to find a way to account for the quarterback in the running game. And however that is, if it's a spy or whatever it is that you've got to do, run it on first down and room to run. To the outside, midfield, 45-40, and a terrific run that time by Kajon Smith.
Kajon Smith did a nice job fitting in behind his blockers right there. That was all that Hahnville offensive line. That offensive line did a great job opening up that hole. There's the kick-out block. There's the second kick-out block. He does a nice job bouncing it, staying on the hips of the second blocker and getting down the field.
Smith got 24 on that one. He had 22 tonight before that carry. He'll get it again. Gets about 3, and it's 2nd down and 7.
Look for De La Salle. One of the things that they might do is they might try to start using some run pressures, blitzing some linebackers and a couple of gaps to try to create some sort of, penetration issue and forcing a turnover. That could be the answer that they want. But when you start doing that, you start leaving little gaps open, and all of a sudden, boom, if to force the pressure, force the issue could turn out to be something that could hurt you.
Quarterback's going to keep it, and it is well defended that time by the Cavaliers as it was stuffed by Frankie Bentley. Talked about him, the big 320-pound senior.
All right, well.
Just blew that play up in the backfield, a loss of 3.
Well, Donovan Freelow pulled that ball off the disconnect right there, and then he didn't have any place to go. It was like he was absorbed by 320 pounds.
Well, that's, Freelow's 5'11", 180, and Bentley is 6'5", 320. You do the math.
Exactly. Absorbed is the right word.
3rd and 10. biggest play of the ball game for the De La Salle defense, I think, Wade.
Smart thing by Hahnville right here is to manage the clock. You want to use up and absorb all of that 40 seconds that you can. 6, 5 on the clock before you snap it.
And on the run out of the shotgun snap there, that was Kendrick, who took it himself for a first down to the 24-yard line. First time we've seen that tonight. Actually, Freelou checked out of the game, and Kendrick took the direct snap at quarterback and ran 16 yards for a first down.
Kendrick goes to the Wildcat look. They take Freelou out. Nice little job by the offensive line, and he finds a spot, and he accelerates. All of a sudden, he's running around in the De La Salle secondary. If he doesn't get brought down, it would have been another score.
You know, here's the thing. Look at this, Wade. Hahnville has converted now in the last couple of drives as we watch this first down play, a little RPO, and that is incomplete. And they're looking for a flag. Kendrick's begging for one, and he's not going to get it.
They run the RPO. I get the RPO. I understand the RPO. What I don't understand is they snap the ball with 7 seconds on the 40-second clock. That should be getting that ball snapped somewhere down in the 3 or 2 second area. Sure.
This is a 4-minute situation.
And then they stop the clock off the RPO with an incomplete pass. I don't get it, and I'm not judging. I'm just saying you've got your running game going. Let's keep pounding that thing right now. Let's run some more of that clock.
Right. So in the last 2 drives, Wade, Hahnville has converted 3rd and 9 with a 12-yard run, 3rd and 5 with an 8-yard run, 4th and 10, timeout Hahnville. So each team now with 1 remaining. 4th and 10 with a 15-yard run, 3rd and 3 with a 4-yard run, and then 3rd and 10 with a 16-yard run. So they're not even converting with the passing game. They're getting in 3rd and long, 4th and long situations and converting with runs.
And I can see, I think that is Coach Luquette down there. He's a little animated, and he was very animated at Freelou, and he just pointed to the 40-second clock. So I understand exactly what he was saying. You got to look at the clock. Let's work that 40-second clock. All right, even though the ball was incomplete right there, we've just got to be more aware of what we're doing out there.
Well, here's a final from Hoss Memphis. Jesuit 17, John Curtis 13. That is a huge win for the guy who used to coach the team in white, Ryan Manali. His biggest win of his first season at Jesuit.
Well, that definitely puts the Jays in the driver's seat in the Catholic.
Well, it's still they've still got Brother Martin sitting there undefeated, and that now we're going to see movement up front. Which way is this going to go? Did somebody on the defense move first?
That puts them in the driver's seat. Brother Martin in the driver's seat. It's too bad you couldn't get a little rematch there. So
well, as we know, those things can happen.
It's going to happen.
It's a false
in the playoffs,
start.
Right? It's going to happen in the playoffs. I'm talking for an outright district championship.
Right. Now, Brother Martin. Of course. Now, here's the thing. If Curtis doesn't lose again,
correct,
and that would mean they'd have to beat Brother Martin in Week 10. You could have a 3-way tie for the title in this whole thing.
Exactly, and that was my point.
Give it away on 2nd and 15, and they've got it well defended. The ball's out. And De La Salle, I believe, came up with it. Let's see which way they're going to signal it. It looks like it's Cavalier football, and it is at the 36-yard line.
Well, there's your counter game again right there, and the ball's kind of hanging out on the hip right there. I don't think the handoff was very good, and he's trying to find the ball.
Bouncing it out. Right. They're going to call it the 35-yard line.
It's bouncing off his hip. He's trying to get a handle on that ball as he's running, and then all of a sudden he just gets delivered on by white jerseys. Ball's out on the ground, and here's De La Salle's chance with 4:09 and 1 timeout.
They've got a timeout. All you need is a field goal. Now, that is the 4th turnover of the night for Hahnville. De La Salle is +4 in the turnover margin and trailing this football game right now. They're going to run option on first down and nothing doing. That is well defended on the perimeter that time as they tried to make the pitch.
Secret there, Hahnville jumped into a zone coverage right there. They weren't in man coverage, and those guys out there on the edge, especially the corner at the top of your screen that looks like number 1, and I don't think that's Cole Villasenor out there. It looks like another number one, unless I just can't see through the window here. Does a great job getting out there and making a play.
Now they go back to Wills on this side. Looked like he got dragged down from behind. De La Salle's asking for a flag, but I don't see one that has come out at this point, and the ball was down at the 41-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 4. They were looking for a horse collar as Wills was dragged down from behind.
Well, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Of course not.
I mean,
you can always ask, you know.
Well, I always asked. I mean, I was always.
You were a good asker too.
I was very nice. I was very polite. Most officials will say that. And I'm being extremely sarcastic, but you know, you got to try to work them any way you can.
Line to make the 45. Pass is caught, and a great second effort, and it looks like a first down for De La Salle. That was Chris Baxter, the fullback tight end hybrid that De La Salle uses in this offense, and he comes up with a 5-yard catch and run for the first down.
It's all about the second effort there by Chris Baxter. He lowers his shoulder and he gets the extra yards he needs to move those chains. How Johnny on the spot was that for the Cavaliers right there? That's the answer that they needed to give them a little spark in this drive.
So from the 46, Milford's going to keep it on first down. Around the right side, got room to run, and is run out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. That was 9 and not 8. That was the other linebacker, Ja'Shawn Joseph, the senior. Came in with 16 tackles on the year that delivered the hit on the boundary right there.
That was quarterback counter. He keeps the ball off the counter. They get the offensive lineman out in front of him, and then he shoots off, and there's nobody there to answer that from Hahnville. Nice gain for Milford.
Hadn't been able to get much growing in the running game tonight, but he pulled off his biggest play right there, a gain of 15 out to the 39 of Hahnville as the clock ticks towards the 2.5-minute mark. Once again, Milford got room to run, out past the 30, out to about the 25-yard line. I think they'll call it the 26, a gain of 13.
That's all Milford right there. He pulls the ball again off the counter. He keeps the ball, and he just gets up the field. You'll see a really nice job right here by his offensive line, sealing things off out there on the edge, and then there he goes.
De La Salle got the ball on a fumble with 4:09 remaining at the 35-yard line. They've gone 5 plays thus far, gotten down to the 26 of Hahnville as the clock stopped with 2:10 to play. And we get a timeout called here?
Looks like it. I just don't know who called the timeout. You can't see the official. He
did not see a signal there. I don't know if there was some reason for them to call one. Is there we have an injured player out there for Hahnville at the 26-yard line. They're going to take a look at the 21-yard line, I should say, that they're taking a look at.
Well, plenty enough time for the Cavaliers here. I mean, they've got 2:10, 1 timeout. You know,
and look, despite what you saw in the kicking game a moment ago, Gabe Capasso has a couple of field goals and is 8 of 8 on extra points this year. So he's capable, right, certainly of knocking one through if you stall out and are looking to try to win this with a field goal.
Well, the secret is now De La Salle, the clock becomes their ally. They need to use every bit of that 40-second clock as they possibly can in that 2:10 because you don't want to give this Hahnville team the ball back with time on the clock and a timeout.
No doubt about it. And we see that double stack formation to either side. Milford's going to run it. Room to run up to about the 21-yard line. And Cole's brother Jude in on the stop after a gain of, they're going to call it 4, back to the 22, I believe.
Hahnville, even though they have that one timeout, might need to use it to stop the clock, to give them enough time.
No doubt.
If De La Salle happens to score here.
So 32 yards on the last 3 runs by Milford.
You know, so both teams have got to think judiciously about how they're going to use their timeout and how they're going to manage their clock situation.
Handed off this time out near the sticks. Let's see where they mark it. I believe they're going to call it a first down.
Clock stops.
And a nice carry that time by Sider.
De La Salle needs to have their play called and have it in already. They're going to wind the clock as soon as those chains set. There it
Minutes
goes.
17, 16, 15. And whistles. Timeout. No, check it. It's a Hahnville timeout. Hahnville uses their final timeout with 1:06 remaining. So wanted to talk about some things defensively there and try to see what you can do to get this stop in the red zone to preserve a win, perhaps.
Well, maybe they didn't like the look that they saw in the formation that De La Salle came out in. They didn't feel like that they were lined up right. That could have been the issue that they used to stop the clock right there. I was thinking they were going to have to use that timeout sooner or later as that clock was ticking down, because De La Salle was draining everything they can out of the clock and using that 40-second clock. Also, if they run the football, they might have needed to use that timeout on the next play to be able to stop that clock, to give them enough time to get the ball back if there should be a De La Salle score.
It's really the best drive we've seen all night from De La Salle. Started at the 35, now at the 16 of Hahnville. Milford pushes forward to about the 14, maybe the 13.
Here's a timeout. Or no, it's a player with a helmet coming off.
And if it's Milford who lost his helmet, he's got to come out of the game.
No, it wasn't Milford. I think it's a defensive lineman from Hahnville, number 90, Devin Douglas. Going to have to take a play off. They'll got somebody in for him. They stop the clock, and here goes the clock again. It's being wound.
So second down,
48. 39,
maybe
38. Here we go.
Milford, hands up to about the 10-yard line. Goes Miles Sider.
De La Salle is going to run that clock all the way down, and they're going to bring up their field goal team. They've just centered the ball with the play by running the counter to their right to set the kicker up. So this is going to come down to a field goal.
They will let it run all the way down inside 10 seconds. You try it on third down right here, but you're going to let it run all the way down where you don't even get the chance to. One. Now you call the timeout with 1 second left.
Goodness.
But the thing about that is, kicking on third down, you give yourself a chance to, if there is a bad snap, throw the ball away and kick it on fourth down.
Correct, but you're going to have time on the clock. That's the reason why you should have stopped the clock about 6 to 8 seconds. Where the clock should have been stopped.
It's all in right here.
Right.
There you go.
This is
going to be it. And we will see the senior 5'10", 196-pound kicker Gabe Capasso in his first year as a starter. Remember they had the veteran kicker who did a great job, hit that game-winning field goal to beat U High at the buzzer to send him to a state championship game. So you're right. They've got it centered up.
That was the purpose of the play prior. They wanted to get the ball in the right spot on the field. This is definitely within his wheelhouse.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. 27 yards. And you've got Deontay LeBranch holding. Snap. Kick. It is no good. And Hahnville will escape with a 14-13 victory.
It looked like the ball was pushed to the kicker's left. From our vantage point, let's see if we can see it off of the video. Snap was good, hold was good, ball was pushed to the kicker's left, the Hahnville's right.
That's a tough way to lose.
What a football
and an exhilarating way to win when you think maybe it had just gotten away from you.
What a football game. I tell you what, you hate to see it come down to a kicker and a bad kick like that. But both teams tonight, definitely, made adjustments and did a great job coming up with answers to be able to put themselves both in a position to win a football game.
You want to see the Milfords in this situation, but here's the thing. Cole is going down the line, congratulating his own teammates on an effort. Jude appeared to have cramped up, and he's getting stretched out at the 46-yard line right now. and
Yep.
getting some help and and getting a hug.
Getting a hug from one of the De La Salle coaches.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Exactly. What a great effort all around. Great high school football game.
No doubt.
And the answer was in the second half for both teams, the two quarterbacks.
Yeah, they got more involved in the offensive game, and certainly it changed what we saw from both offensive schemes here in the second half, and it came right down to the final play, and unfortunately, just a little bit wide. You don't want to see an end on a missed field goal. You want to see an end on a play being made.
Correct. You want to see a play being made. The other answer that I thought was real good, I thought that De La Salle came up with some sort of answer in the second half for Sincere Simmons. Mm-hmm. We didn't call his name in the second half. Right. What an outstanding athlete he was, who controlled, I think, the whole Hahnville defense against
he was terrific
half,
in the first half. You're right,
doubt.
and they
just batted down passes, sacks, things of that nature. And in the second half, he wasn't around. So some sort of answer took place at halftime. Credit the De La Salle coaches to come up with an answer for that fine defensive end from Hahnville. What a football game! Just two really good football teams laying it out on the field tonight, and like you said, in the Milford house, somebody's 1-1.
Yep, and interestingly, Cole Milford is the last guy in the De La Salle line shaking hands, and we're, a lot of other players are greeting him, and I guess maybe the last thing we're going to see is going to be Cole and Jude. I don't know. Now I see Cole walking back over towards his bench, and look, this. Again, this is, of course, we're hearing the Hahnville alma mater now, but it's look, this has got to be tough on both sides. It's this was the kind of game that comes down to the final play, and it's great to win, but it's hard to lose.
Right, but that's what all high school football about, and that's a great picture.
And there you see it. There you see it on your screen.
Yeah, the two brothers. So what a great storyline tonight. What a great high school football game that we witnessed here tonight.
Well, nothing more we can say that the pictures don't show you right there. Wade, this has been a pleasure. We'll have more high school football for you next week. Ken Berthelot's going to be with you next week. Stay with Crescent City Sports. We'll let you know where we are going to be. For Chip Merritt, for Matt Merritt, and for Wade Kaiser, I'm Lenny Van Gilder. Once again, your final score tonight, Hahnville 14, De La Salle 13. Until next week, so long, everybody.